Good evening and welcome back to the Mancunian Way, and welcome to the Thursday night chat with myself, Ozzy, Rich, Luke and Alan. How are we, gentlemen?
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Hi, everybody.
So, tonight, I think there's a few things to discuss. Obviously, being the last match.
To discuss. Yeah.
Obviously, it's very disappointing last few games, let's be honest, hasn't it? So, obviously, with the Newcastle game that we have covered on the shows, and obviously Martin covered as well, and the Americans show as well. But we all haven't had our proper say, so we're all going to get into it. Thank you to everyone who is joining us and is commenting in the chat. It's much appreciated. Thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, I will try and keep on top of the chat if I can. Martin is going to try and join us at some stage, but he's going to be in and out due to his dad and his family commitments. So hopefully he is able to join us later. Right. I suppose we need to get into it. Tuesday night, obviously, we had Champions League, and obviously we had a disappointing game, didn't we, Rich?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had a chat about this with Alan. I was almost Alan-esque in my annoyance on Tuesday because at the Newcastle game, there's 101 things to talk about. I think their midfield was good. I think there were two absolutely outrageous refereeing decisions, which I honestly think were the result of Liverpool's campaign against Pugmal being, influencing the officials, because, that Foden penalty, there's no way in any rule of football, any interpretation of the rules or anything else, that's anything else than a clear penalty. Yes, we'd have probably missed it. Yes, Newcastle were good. But Tuesday, I just felt was completely self-inflicted. I think Pep had a brain fart or a mind bubble or something completely strange, and just decided to treat Bayer Leverkusen, who are they're up there in the German league. They're the second top scorers there. They were champions, not much over a year ago. They were the champions. So he decided to treat them as if we were playing a 4th division, side at home in the Carabao Cup. And he decided, completely unfairly to the players, I think, to change the entire team with the exception of Nico Gonzalez. I think one player started who would have probably started if it had been a Champions League final.
All right, Rich. Well, let's go. Let's start with that lineup at Leverkusen, shall we?
Yeah.
Against Leverkusen, sorry. So we had obviously Trafford in goal. The back four was Kuznov, Stones, Ake, and Ain't Nori. With Rico Lewis and Gonzalez in midfield, and then you can have Bob, Blinders, and Savio, and up front was Mamouche. Now I'm with you, Rich. Like when I looked at that lineup, I was a little surprised, to say the least. I think, you can expect a few changes with Pep sometimes when it comes to games like this. He feels that he can make a bit of a rotation, especially after a game like we had on with Newcastle. But let's be honest, for me, I've expected 5 changes, maybe 6 at the most.
Yeah, and then they'd have been able to play in the a Newcastle side. We've been playing well. We've started to play as a team and work things together. And you do that, and you give the players a chance to play, because centre backs playing with a new keeper and a new pair of centre backs together, and new fullbacks and new midfield. It's not fair to the players, because everyone is basically, it's almost like being chucked in at the first pre-season friendly and told, but you're not playing, a team who have half their team out and are only just getting together. You're playing a team who are well into their season and really good. And the stupid thing about the game was, for me, I would have changed. I would have played my absolutely strongest 11 against Bayer Leverkusen, got the win, given ourselves then a position in the Champions League where we could go to Real Madrid without caring about the result, and then get ourselves in a position where we did not want to have to get a Bodo Glimt to get a top 8 place. We did not want to have to take our squad in one of the hardest parts of our entire season, but just before we're playing United, I think, to Bodo Glimt in the Arctic Circle in the middle of the worst part of winter. And Pep's decision has now meant that there's every likelihood that game becomes important. So there's every likelihood we're going to have pressure on our team for Spurs, United, etc. in the league, because they're going to have to go there. There's every likely we're going to get an injury on a plastic pitch because of someone, and we're going to have a really tired team. And to me, it just felt unnecessary. And that 11, they're good players. Don't get me wrong. There's, that team should and probably would beat Bayer Leverkusen if they played together 10 times and knew how they worked. But you cannot change everything and expect a team to have any flow, and to work. And so I said to Alan, I'm not going to have a word against a single one of the players on that pitch, because they were stuffed by Pep, and I'm not going to judge their performance, because you cannot be expected to perform in this completely new team where you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think you're right on pretty much most of your accounts, if I'm honest, Richard. The only thing I would disagree with slightly is that I think it is on some of the players. I agree with you that I think, on paper, this team should be beating Leverkusen, but they haven't played together. A lot of these players are coming back off injuries. Just the dynamics and just the creativity of trying to get this team to play was just, it felt that Pepper put his team out to do the impossible. Do you know what I mean? And it did feel like he disrespected Leverkusen, because they are third in the German league. They are a team that only won, their league a couple of seasons ago. So it just felt so out of character for Pep, because we know Pep, he's very much risk averse. He will definitely put out pretty much what he thinks is his strongest 11, even if there are a couple of changes. And he'll try and win the game, because he knows, like you said, that if we win this game, we're pretty much top of the table at that point, before Arsenal and Bayern play. And we're pretty much, we could probably lose the Real Madrid game, if we into it, but still be in a great position to qualify. So it just seems so strange. It didn't seem like a decision, even though he took full responsibility, full blame. It felt to me like it was it came from the coaching staff rather than Pep himself. But that's just
you know what
I'm thinking. I don't know that for certain.
Do you remember a couple of years ago when they used to have the old groups? We used to often play the 6th game and we were already guaranteed first place. And we'd play a stronger 11 compared to our regular 11 in those dead rubbers than we played in this one. And I used to go nuts about that because I'm like, it's a dead rubber. Why aren't we sending, 11, 16-year-olds, out? And then Mark would say, we played last night. We can't send the 16-year-olds that can't play within 24 hours. But I'd be like, why are we playing anyone in a game that's a dead rubber? And then we're playing a game that really matters, and we treat it like you would a dead rubber. And my point is not that I'm saying any players played well, but my point is that you cannot judge Marmoush when he comes in for Haaland and he's playing with Doku and Foden and Cherky. You judge, Ake when he's playing alongside, the first choice defence. You judge Trafford when he's playing with the first choice defence in front of him. You can't judge Trafford when he's playing with a makeshift defence who've never played together. You can't judge the centre backs. You can't judge the foot. You can't judge any of them when they're just playing with it, just completely. Everyone's in the same boat. Like, what doing? Where should I be? How's it working? I'm not fitting into a machine. I'm just this brand new random thing that Pep's decided to do.
If you're wondering who that's sniggering in the background, I think it's Martin.
Father Christmas.
I'll bring the gifts if I can tonight.
Evening. Sorry, can I just do the super chat? I know.
Yeah.
I'm doing that comment. So anyone else, I'm not hosting Aussies because I'm in and out. My apologies. I will be on camera in about 10 minutes. Big up MCFC, mate. Appreciate that. Evening, we're talking about standards, which we will come on to. And I've used the word standards loosely because it's a term that annoys the shit out of me. But apparently that's the word we've now got to use. Standards. But anyway, evening, if we're talking about standards, to me, I consider at least one Premier League or a Champions League the target for a successful season, or the very least win any trophy and challenge for the title till the last day. It's fair enough. It's your opinion. And thank you for the super chat, mate. Carry on, Oz.
Yeah, definitely. And you're right, Mark. We'll get onto that word standards because, like you said, I think it's broad, and we all have different opinions as fans. We have different kind of standards, I suppose.
Yeah, thank you to the 30 people who've unsubscribed since we lost. We weren't even live, and 30 people unsubscribed. It's like it's my fault that when we lose. I don't know what.
It is mine. It's all your fault. So just take it on the chin, mate.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to bring in Alan because obviously we need to have a meltdown.
I am going on mute now. Mute button gone.
I think we all are going to go on mute
at this point. Jesus.
Right. Well, Alan. What Rich has just said, I 100% agree with. Right, in everything he has just said. That's not me just sticking close to a mate and just agreeing with him. My reaction when I saw the team, when I was laying in bed at 6 a.m. and I looked over on the phone and got the team lined up, I punched the bed covers when I saw the team. And I swore, what the fuck is he doing? That was my reaction, okay? Mm-hmm. All I know is when you play any sport, and all I know is if you're playing any sport in a team sport, you don't change the whole team in a big game in the Champions League. They're a good side. All right. They've got a new manager. They've scored 12 goals in 3 games. They've won the last 5, which they have. Mm-hmm. Yep. Right. And he decides to put a side out that was weaker than when we played Swansea, which is a fact. Yeah. Yeah. It showed. I thought Pep was a complete tool, and I'm being nice when I say that.
Thank you, Alan.
And I'll be honest with you. When the game started, they were passing it around side to side, backwards, side to side, backwards. That was what they were doing. And I'm not going to have a go at any player, not one. Because when you've got the second team out there And a few players were coming back from injury, and a few players had lost their confidence, and they were dropped and rested. You don't get their confidence back by playing everyone together in a brand new team. You do it by bringing 3 players in at a time, or 2 or 3 players into the first team and getting them playing again. It's like the Oscar Bobs, the Savios, etc. I know people have got problems with certain individuals, but this one is on Pep and nobody else. I was absolutely furious. And what Rich said about what we're trying to do to move to get to the next stage, and we've got Madrid coming up in the Bernabeu.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that, Man City, because that puts us up against it now. And we didn't need to put ourselves under any pressure. If we'd have played our first team, we'd have won. We'd have probably beaten them on Tuesday night. And I was effing furious at Pep, because I remember I was watching the game before the game started. I thought we're going to lose this. There's no question we're going to lose this. And sure enough, we got beat. And Pep has only got himself to blame. I know he said he turned around and blamed himself at the end, but he didn't need to. He was fucking stupid. It's all right. We're saying Trafford got, Trafford's got, he panics around. I didn't think he did, but that's my opinion, right? Not anybody else's.
Yeah, and we all know why.
We all know why. And Savio falls over the ball when he's running down the wing. Unfortunately, we've got players in the squad who came in who are lacking confidence. That happens to every player in the world at some point. I don't care what anyone says. But to do what Pep did was suicidal and stupid. And I hope the people at the top at City pulled him into a room and had a quiet word at the end. I'm not saying getting sacked, but I had a quiet word with him and saying, "What was you thinking there? Seriously." He takes responsibility, mate.
Well, yeah, and he's the manager. He's always going to take the ultimate responsibility, no matter what. I mean, for me, after Grimaldo broke the deadlock and got that goal in the 23rd minute, it just felt that game was always going to get away from us.
Yeah, I agree.
It just felt that City were never going to really recover, no matter what substitute came on. I mean, that's just the way I felt at the time. Ultimately, I was right, because, after half-time, Pep made 3 substitutions, which is just so, again, unlike Pep. But it just felt that it didn't matter who came on, it was just not going to change the result. It just felt that I remember, I think I got a message off Tone because he was messaging me. And I think Pat had also messaged our group chat, and we kind of all said the same thing. It just felt, it reminded me very much of last season, of when we were not particularly at our best. And I'm not saying we played anywhere near that badly, but it just did feel like, it just said that no one seemed to take responsibility on the pitch. At times, I could see Rico Lewis saying to the players in front of him, "Come on, do something." It just seemed like nobody on that pitch had a clue what they were doing. There was no.
What do you expect? What do you expect is change the whole team, team, right? And expect them to play as a unit. Fuck off, Pep. Jesus.
Can
Luke,
I just
come on.
say, go on, Luke, and then I'll
go on. Then you can have your say.
Then I'll destroy Alan's thinking.
We all look forward to that. Go on, Luke, please.
No, I echo what Rich and Alan have said as well. I was baffled with that team. I'm all for changing and rotating the team when you need to. I'm all for it, but you want to keep the same core of players in a big game like Leverkusen. The Leverkusen are a good team under Yeoman. It's a good football. Schick's a good striker. Grimaldo's a good left back. They've got some good players all over the pitch, can play really well. There's Alex Garcia, who's played for Academy in the midfield as well. They have a very good team. And I would have thought you at least play the spine of Haaland, Gonzalez, maybe Foden, and then Diaz, Vardio, and Arometa. There may have different players around them if you want to have different players around them, sure. But it just felt a little bit like it was a gamble. I thought, why are you gambling when we haven't even qualified yet? If you qualified, whatever. do whatever you need to do. But considering where we were last year, I know last year we were probably playing a lot worse than this. It feels a bit weird to start risking things when we're not in a position to do it anyway. Especially we've got Madrid away in about 2 weeks. We've got to go to Norway in the freezing cold in January, and we've got a tough game at home to Galatasaray. Obviously, Gundogan and Son coming back. So it's just, for me, it's unnecessary pressure. It's after a game with Newcastle where you've lost, so you want to win the next game to get momentum back in the team again to win again. So you go into the next game against Leeds with a lot more confidence. It feels like a really weird time to start changing the team up. I mean, look, Pep's manager. I get Pep's you can do what he wants, but you think after a loss, you want to at least just get the win and back on the horse again. I don't get it. That's a weird one, Pep. Baffling to me.
Yeah, no. Martin, go on then. Have your say and see if you can destroy Alan at the same time.
No, listen, Alan's. I want to joke, and Alan's entitled to his opinion. It's fine. Yeah, maybe he shouldn't have made all the changes, but I'm going to go back to something a few weeks ago. I didn't hear anyone asking for Oscar Bob and Rico Lewis and James Trafford and all these players at Newcastle on Saturday. Didn't ask anyone. Didn't hear anyone asking for them in the Premier League games when at Liverpool. So I'm going to ask a general question. Was we meant to go play the same 11 for 70 games? And then Haaland gets injured and everyone cries about that one.
No.
You make 3 changes.
Hang on. Bloody hell.
You do not change the whole fucking team.
Hang on.
100%.
He has done that before, by the way. We're doing this like it's the first time he's ever done it. He has done it before.
Not in a Champions League game.
Not in an important Champions League game.
He played Michael Hamilton in the Champions League. So he has done it, but generally we're qualified. That's when he's done it.
Yeah, qualified.
You're talking about one player, mine.
No, he has played. He has changed.
Big Hamilton and someone else.
But it's generally when we're qualified.
Yeah.
It says, yeah,
exactly.
I hear it. Was it bad? Yes. Is it a catastrophe? No. Because if you can't beat Bodo Glint away, it was stuck on 2 points. I don't care if they're in the Antarctic or on Mars. I don't care if they're playing a plastic pitch. No, Rich, hang on. I don't care if they're playing Rich. If we can't beat Bodo Glint and Galatasaray, we don't deserve to be in the next stage of the competition. Simple fact.
Martin, it's not to do with that. It's the fact.
So you wanted to win 8 out of 8?
No.
Hang on, let Rich speak.
No, absolutely
well, I was speaking,
not.
Alan.
I wanted to send
you
the
and
kids
Rich
to
are
Bodo
interrupting me.
Glint.
No one interrupted.
All right, guys, please. One
let
at a
me
time.
finish, Alan.
One at a time.
Please. I've given you the courtesy of you two finishing your points. Please allow me to finish mine. That's all I'm asking for. So, yes, I understand. Was it too many changes? 100%. But this is put us in danger of non-qualifying. Listen, I'm going to go back 5 weeks. You're all shitting yourselves over Napoli at home, thinking Napoli were going to come to the Etihad and rock all over us. Am I right or am I wrong on that?
You're wrong, because I said we're going to win the quad. So I was not worried about Napoli. I'm worried.
Are we doing this? Are we going to do it? We weren't worried about Napoli.
I wasn't worried about Leverkusen. I thought we'd beat Leverkusen 2 or 3-0.
I agree.
Yeah.
But that team was good enough to beat Leverkusen, or they shouldn't be at Manchester City.
I think just to kind of pick a point,
we're talking like
quickly.
An DS team.
Yeah, but just to pick up on that point with Napoli, at that time, like Brighton and Spurs games were played where we weren't particularly at our best and in a rhythm of a first 11. Now we are. So that's just where I'm going to
need 6. You need 6 points to qualify. 16 points will qualify you in the top 8. Nobody expected us to win at Madrid anyway. So now we're doing this. Well, we're not. No one was expecting us to win at Madrid. I was on a show with LB when we did this, and everyone even said Real Madrid 0. Everyone said
very good chance
5 wins out of 8 we're through.
But I think there is a good chance we could win at Madrid. I mean, yes, it's the Bernabeu, and it's a difficult atmosphere to go to. But this Real Madrid team at the moment are not particularly playing that well. You know, they lost to Liverpool. Liverpool at the moment. Do you know what I mean? So that's saying a lot for me. And their games in the Liga have not been great either. And the Champions League game they played last night, they just got a win. So, and they weren't particularly playing any of the big boys. So,
right, but here's my thing, Gozzy. Let's look at the team, right? Alan's been waxing lyrical about James Trafford and wanting him as our number one all season. Now suddenly he's not good enough. Right? Cushion off. Everyone said he's going to be the next Paolo Maldini, and we've got statues built for him already. Yeah? Everyone wanted him in at the start of the season. John Stones and Ake, okay. Rain Aït-Nouri everyone was buzzing about that signing at Wolves. Let's not pretend they were. Nico Gonzalez. Tell me in that 11, you're going to say, well, it was the way we did it. But we've not made any swapses the whole season. We've not changed our 11, really. If you look in all our games, it's predominantly been the same 11 every single game, right or wrong.
But you change 3 or 4 players because you cannot judge. You judge Trafford playing with a settled defence in front of him. You don't judge him with a completely
Trafford's never
defense.
going to play in the Premier League, Rich, and you know that.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you want to play him against Bayer Leverkusen, then play him behind, Diaz and Guardiola.
You need 7. You need 7 mathematically, but you won't because not everyone's going to win all their games.
Trafford will play the Premier League for another team
and
in
we'll
February.
Qualify. Yeah, we'll
play for the middle of the road team, Alan, because he ain't good enough for.
He'll still play the Premier League.
Right, I know, but this is my point. So if you're saying you're bigging him up, Rain Aït-Nouri was everyone had Rain Aït-Nouri in as the main left back over Nico Ryler. Yeah,
it's like Rich said, mate. It's like Rich said, and I said, you pick the whole 10 fucking changes at the same time and expect them to play well. There's players in there that've got a lack of confidence. If now after Tuesday,
they've moaned about
they've got 0. They have. You don't lift their confidence to get them to play better by changing all 10. You do it 3 at a time.
No, Alan, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. Where I kick back on us, it's not none of it is on the players. I'm sorry. Some of those players have knocked on the manager's door in recent weeks and said, "Why am I not playing?"
Why isn't it on the players, Martin?
No, I've said it's on both Pep and the players.
Okay, because it just felt like it was just on Pep.
No, it's on both for me. It's on both.
Right, okay.
But the simple fact is, if I'm Oscar Bob and I'm Rico Lewis or I'm whoever, and I'm knocking on a manager's door going, "Why am I not playing?" and I pull out that kind of performance, I'm sorry, I've no right to ask the manager why I'm not playing anymore.
Well, Martin, I disagree. If you're Oscar Bob and you come in and you're playing with Haaland and Nunez and you play Foden, you're playing in 3 players who know what they're doing in that position, and you can actually be judged on how you're fitting into a team. If you're Oscar Bob playing with a Marmouche who's coming back from injury, playing at centre forward for the first time this season, you've got a fullback who's coming back from injury and has played 2 or 3 games at fullback for City in his entire career, and you've got Reinders who's you've probably played with once or twice. You can't be judged on how you're fitting into the City team playing with completely new players. I've got no problem Kusanov playing, but if I was playing Kusanov, you'd have Donnarumma and you'd have Diaz. So Kusanov will be coming in to players who are settled and know what they're doing. And I just think it's really hard to judge anything. If you're playing Aït-Nouri, with Guardiola and
we can go back to a small squad. Let's go back to a 16-man squad then and get rid of the 26.
Rotate 3 or 4 players. Rotate 3 or 4 players.
All right, then. So you're trusting Oscar Bob in the Premier League game because I'm not.
But he has.
Pep hasn't trusted him for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'd trust him if it was Oscar Bob, Foden, Doku, Haaland, Nunez. I'd trust Oscar Bob.
See, this is where I don't get this. You think players are happy with a 10 or 15-minute spell, and we go, "Oh, right, that's okay then." These players are not okay with 10 minutes.
But
this is why they're moaning.
Yeah, but you don't have to we could have played 6 or 7 players who started at Newcastle, changed 4 or 5, given half of those players game time, given half of those players 70 minutes or whatever, and kept the basic shape, the basic core of the team, and made a few changes. We could have done that. And I think if we had, we'd have probably beaten Bayer Leverkusen. We'd have given 5 game time. And then on Saturday against Leeds, 3 or 4 of the other players could have played along with the players who'd rested against, and just did what our whole success in like 23, our whole success in 18 was based on 16, 17, 18 players, not 24, admittedly, playing continuously and
So what you're
continuously.
telling me, Rich, is some of these players, like it was a team of misfits. You're telling me they ain't good enough for Manchester City, then?
No, I'm not.
No one's saying that, Martin. No one's saying that.
I'm saying I could take 11 of the best players in the world, chuck them in a team together, put them out on a pitch against an established top European side, and they would probably lose,
Right.
even if one.
So when does Rico Lewis play,
better.
Rich? When does Oscar Bob play?
They could have played yesterday, but not with 10 new changes.
No, I'm telling me when. Before then.
I'd be happy those players playing, any game, but just not when we make 10 changes. We could have played.
What you're telling me, Rich, is the squad's not good enough then?
No.
That's what people are saying. It's not good enough.
Well, I think the squad is good enough. And I think that actually, on paper, was a decent side. It just was too much change. I would have.
There you go. Bobby's asking Pep every day when he's going to get game time.
But at the end of the day, it's on Bob to show that he's worthy of starting.
Didn't show it, Ozza.
Yeah, exactly. So
this is why I don't do this. It's all on Pep.
He wasn't given a chance to show it because he's playing with random people.
Both are at fault. But Sam it played poorly. It was a really weird team selection, and then also Pepe badly. But both are true.
Thank you. He came on against Newcastle and did diddly squats.
Listen, when it comes to Pep has taken full responsibility, but he's also said as well that he saw a lot of sad faces and he wanted to give them game time. Now, I'm sorry, but being a top manager, you have to basically deal with rotation of a squad. That just comes part and parcel of the game. You look at Arsenal, who are currently probably the best team in the Premier League and in Europe right now, just on form. And they have got a settled squad, they've got a settled 11, and they've also got some good players on the bench. And Arteta is having to rotate those players to get the better out of the team. That is something that Pep failed to do last night, because rather than making 1 or 2 changes, he made a complete and utter change to the entire team. He ripped it up and just went, I'm throwing all these players out and I expect the job to be done. Not realising that confidence has probably shattered them now into this entire team, because how do you move on? Because you've got the A team and the B team, and Pep has gone to the B team, go out there against Leverkusen and get the job done. And in fact, they were never going to get the job done because, as Richard said, their confidence, their playing ability just wasn't there. And then it fell apart. I think that it's a fair question to put, really, to Pep and the rest of the coaching staff is, why was that acceptable? Why was it acceptable to change 10 players when ultimately you should have only been making 5 at the very most, 6 at a push? So I think it does come down to Pep. Pep made a mistake, ultimately, and some of these players weren't good enough. No, they didn't show it, and they didn't take the opportunity.
Yeah, it's on both.
It was a chance to turn up and say a claim for a starting spot. They didn't do it at all, did they?
No, they didn't, if we're honest. So, but I just think it fragments the team, really, because, like I said, you've got A and you've got B team, and how can you rely on some of these B team players when you've completely shattered their confidence? We're going to need the likes of Mamouche. We're going to need the likes of Savio, Bob, Lewis, Stones, Kushanoff, Ain't Nori. we're going to need them at some point this season because we want to win it, as much as we can this season. But you're not going to win it like this currently.
I'll tell you what it is, Ozza. Biana and Pep want to make signings in January. Signings, plural. Right now, you have 26 players. Pep needed to see who was ready. Was it wrong? Yes.
Martin, he threw them under the bus.
No, right. You keep saying that some of the players chucked themselves under the bus with their performance, Alan.
With all due respect, mate, by doing 10 players, Pep threw them under the bus. It was a tool.
But that's fine. But Alan, that's your opinion, and that's fine. Yeah. I disagree because I think you're letting, because this is where the player FC stuff's coming in again. You're scared to have a go at some of the players because you like them.
I'm not having a go. I'm not having a go at some of the players. I'm having a go at the manager
because you like them. You'll never have a go at Bob. You'll never have a go at Rico. You'll never have a pop at Trafford. There are certain players who are protected by this fan base. I am badged before the name on the back.
All right. Well, that's because I wanted to get into this tonight. Let's get into some of these players that played on Tuesday night, because obviously there is a lot of conjecture that can be made with the likes of Savio, Mamouche, Bob, Nori Reinders, Rico Lewis, Trafford, Ake, and Stones. Those are the ones that I think have got question marks over them at the moment. Rightly or wrongly, and we'll get into it. But for me, those are the biggest question marks on the players at the moment. That have they got a future? No, I think some of them have, but there are big question marks that need to be answered. So let's start with the goalie, and we'll work our way out. So
he's leaving.
Trafford,
he's leaving.
All right, and I'll let you have your say, I promise. Trafford came in the summer. There were a lot of big expectations upon him. Obviously coming through the academy, gone to Burnley, made a name for himself and come back and was seen as the number one. Obviously, with Edison going, things changed. And Donnarumma suddenly became available. And with a world-class goalkeeper like Donnarumma, I think it was difficult for City, Pep, to turn the opportunity of getting him. We'd heard that Pep was a big fan. He had a lot of respect for him. He even wanted him before Edison, apparently. So, he was high on the list of if he's available, we want him. And we can see why, because since he's come into the team, I think he's been absolutely undroppable. And it has affected Trafford. The rumours have been out there that he's not happy, that, he thought he was coming in to be at least either understudy to Edison when he left this summer coming, or, he may even replace Edison. Obviously, that hasn't happened. It shattered his confidence, and the rumours are that he wants to leave either on loan or for good, where that's January or the summer. But, I think for me, I'm just being honest here, I want the best person for the position. I want somebody who is a world-class goalkeeper, who Donnarumma is. There's no denying that. Because, like I said, since he's come in, he's done an excellent job. It's a shame for Trafford. When he came in, I was absolutely so happy, so ecstatic. But the club comes first, not one player. If he goes, sadly he goes. But
absolutely,
that's just the name of the game.
Yeah,
Alan, we know how you feel about him, mate, and I appreciate it.
Again.
Well, listen.
Go on, Alan.
In his current position, right, at his age, he needs to be playing first team football. He was brought in thinking he was going to be number one when Edison went, right, and then it was shafted 2 weeks later, right. Now that's been and gone. I forgot about that. I've moved on, right, but he now needs to leave in January. It's an absolute must for him to move. If he wants his England spot on that plane, he needs to move to a mid-table team in the Premier League or get over to the Bundesliga or Spain, right? He needs to move. That's fine, right? But my argument's not just with him coming in on Tuesday night. It was the whole bloody team. And let's face it, it would have been 11 if we had a CDM to put in.
I know, but we're just concentrating on, we'll get to other players, Alan, but we're just going to go through each player. So obviously you feel that Trafford's future doesn't like City, and I can understand that, and I can agree.
He doesn't. He doesn't. For him personally, he needs to move, and I support that. I completely support that. He needs to
and
move.
I think any fan, any City fan, can agree with that. Like, it hasn't worked out, and we would have loved to have worked out, but it's just the way football is. You know what I mean? And I think all of us would say, if he goes somewhere else and makes a big name for himself, then good on him. Do you know what I mean?
It's like Jack Grealish. Grealish needed to move. He's made a move to Everton, and look at him now. He's probably going to get an England spot back, right?
Yeah.
And I watched Everton the last few games as well, because you can see every game here, and he's enjoying his football again. And good on him, because I've got nothing against Jack Grealish in any way. I think he's a great player, right? And he was part of our treble winning side. So for me, he's always held a very high esteem now for me. That's it.
Yeah.
But
we've talked about Jack's no longer with us, so let's just again keep Trafford. Rich, your thoughts and feelings on Trafford?
I think Trafford will be a very, very good keeper, but away from City, I think we've put our chips on Donnarumma. I think Donnarumma's one of the best, if not the best, goalkeeper in the world. He is only in his mid-20s, so he could easily be playing for us for a decade. But certainly, there's no reason to think that Donnarumma's not going to be here for 6, 7, 8 years. So any goalkeeper with ambition needs to not be our number 2. They need to move on, and Trafford needs to be playing 50, 60 games a season for a Premier League side. So he goes in, if I was Trafford, I'd be going on January the 1st and, going elsewhere. And unfortunately, because he's homegrown, it's not really helping the squad situation, or him going is not going to help anything, really. We're going to have a massive homegrown problem next season, because as we go through the squad now, we're probably going to find we're down to about 3 or 4 homegrown players by, if we're lucky, or even league-trained players by the time we get to the end of it. So, Trafford, if, the best thing for City is if there's a team who desperately wants Trafford and they've got a player we really want, and that, we can use their desperation for a keeper in January to get one of the players we really want long-term, like a fullback on the right.
Yeah, because I think that obviously the other issue, like you kind of slightly highlighted, is that the British or English code, whatever you want to call it. There's also the fact that we've currently got 4 goalkeepers. One doesn't particularly want to leave. One came in just to be the third backup, and was never really going to be used. So then if we were to lose Trafford in January, we're probably going to have to go out and get another keeper. Luke, what are your thoughts, mate?
Are you not happy with Ortega as a backup? I thought he was fine as a backup keeper.
He was fine as a backup keeper, but the problem is that I think that he's fell out of favour. I think he was expected to go in the summer. He kind of, as we've talked about, said, no, I don't want to go anywhere, and I'm happy with the wage I'm on. I don't want to drop it. So he stayed, and he's not even featured at all apart from the bench. So I think that tells you everything. Luke, thoughts on Trafford?
I like Trafford, I really do, but Donnarumma's age and his ability at this point, there's no way that Trafford will get in over him. And yesterday, on Tuesday, look, I wouldn't say it was all his fault, but it just proved to me that he's not ready for UCL football yet. He'll get there soon enough with experience in game time over a period of time. He will get there, but he won't get that at City right now. I think he's better off going to another team. I think Newcastle now have got Pope and have got Ramsdale now, so I'm not sure he'll get there now, but he'll go to someone where he can get game time consistently week in, week out, where he can get the levels he needs to improve. I think he will be in the England team. I think in the long run, obviously, England's number 1 probably the next few years, but I think he needs it for his own career. I think, we've got the best keeper in the world, in the sticks right now. And Trafford's obviously a great young keeper in his own right, but we can't just force him to stay here as number 2 and then just send it in development every now and again. He needs to be playing, his own football, and if he wants to go on loan, then I wish him all the best.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Martin, what are your thoughts on Trafford's future?
I don't think Trafford's going anywhere in Jan. I think it'll be Ortega that's gone for the exact reason you just said. I don't think they'll be able to buy a new goalie. I think it'll be Ortega who goes. Ortega's not even getting in the matchday squads. And then suddenly 6 months later, we're just going to reintroduce him back as a backup goalie.
Yeah,
because he's really going to be down for that and he'll give it his all.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
I'm sorry, I'm going to say the Trafford new situation. Sit on the bench for a year. I think he'll go in the summer, yeah. But I don't think he'll go in Jan because I don't think they'll release 2 goalies in Jan. Because if Donnarumma gets injured, you've got Bettinelli as your backup for the rest of the season. Is that what we're going to do now? Ortega will go. Trafford will stay and he'll have to deal with it. Tough titty, said the kidder.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've had enough of players dictating what goes on in this football club.
True.
You sign the contract, you're getting paid, deal with it. I'm not being funny, he'd be number 2 at Newcastle if he goes there. Because what's he gonna do? They're gonna dump Pope and Ramsdale out for him? Unless he wants to go to Wolves. If you're telling me Wolves is his level now, guys, that's his number 1 level. Well, fine. But he isn't going to be number 1 in a top team.
No.
They've already got the goalies. Who's going to come and get him?
Yeah, I think it's a fair question. Unless there's going to be an injury to a top goalkeeper out there or a middle top goalkeeper, whatever you want to call it, I think it'd be difficult.
And that's when City will do what's best for City. We've got to stop this doing what's best for the player bollocks.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So let's move on to the. I'll do it as a pair. Let's do Stones and Ake together. For me, obviously, John Stones he's had an immense career. Sadly, injuries have probably kind of hit him where I think he won't get the respect he deserves, not from City fans, but from the wider, fan base out there that will just not see him as the player that he truly is.
So you don't think he'll be Bobby Moore when England win the World Cup on the back of him in the summer? And
speaking of player FC, here comes Rich with his John Stones loving.
And we'll get to that loving, I'm sure, in a minute. But yeah, I mean, for me, he's just been outstanding, and he's just been everything that's come from our successes has come from the back of Stones. So, but sadly, like I said, injuries have plagued him and keep on playing him, even though he has been fit actually for all of this season, which I'm touching wood right now that continues. But ultimately, his contract's running out. I think his time is running out at City. And I think, as all players, KDB, Aguero, company, they just have to go. We can't keep them forever. His experience would be great to keep in some respects, but we have to move on at some point. So I will allow Rich to have his loving now. So Rich, I will just say about Ake. All right, Alan. Yeah, I know you're going to go. Thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it.
What's the airport again? He lives at the airport, this fella. Have you got a season ticket in the car park?
No, Mum's not good, mate. I've got to go. All right, I'll speak to you later.
Well, you go and look after your family, mate.
All right,
take care.
Mate. Yeah, I'll ring you later. Are you going over to Tassie now?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the airport.
I'll give you a bell in a bit.
Take care. Look after yourself, Alan.
Yeah, and your mum.
Yeah, no.
Just quickly, because I'll just do Ake because I want to do both together. Ake again, excellent servant. Since he's come in, has done amazingly. He's centre back, left back. At times, especially during the treble, what an amazing player he's been for us. But again, he wants first team football. He's worried about missing out in the Netherlands during the World Cup. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes in Jan, if I'm honest. And yeah, again with Stones, I think his time comes to an end. Go on, Rich. Sorry.
Yeah, John Stones, City legend, great. Should have been Ballon d'Or in 2023. Phenomenal player, and I think he's had a couple of games this season. We've seen Stones at his best. A couple of European games. I just hope that we keep him fit, because if we want to win the quad, like I think we should. We're going to need him a lot in January, February, March, and I think England, if England are to go well in the World Cup, I think a lot of that depends on John Stones. But he's not someone you can rely on. I think I said he'd start about 29 games this season in all competitions, so that's going to be the best we can hope from him. Ake, I'm a little bit more worried about, because I think I haven't been that worried about Stones this season. I've been a bit worried about Ake. I worry that we broke Ake by playing him with hammy injuries so many times last season, and mentally, I think Ake looks a bit nervous. I think there's a couple of players. I think quite clearly Rodri at the moment is more in his head necessarily than in his body, and the nervousness of coming back. I think Ake, to me, there's just this vibe that Ake looks like he thinks his hammy's about to go every moment in the game. And I think Bob, it's in his mind at the moment. I think it's about confidence. I think there's a few players. I think Ake's one. I think there's no question in the summer, one or both of Stones and Ake are going to go as we change the team. We might keep one because they're both homegrown, but both could easily go. And that'll depend on what they're going to accept in contracts, what we get offered, where else would take them, as to what happens. But I don't know why we went Stones Ake. I don't know why we didn't go Stones Diaz for that game. Change one of them, give Guardiola rest. Stones Diaz have always been fantastic together. Why didn't we play that centre backs at Leverkusen?
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. By the way, I thought Stones.
I think Stones is Ake's the one I'm worried about on form this season rather than Stones.
Yeah,
Stones is
I agree
okay
with
a few
that,
games.
Yeah,
but
I totally agree.
Rich, he's been whinging for game time.
Yeah,
Good.
Well, after that performance,
I mean, but I'd hope I would hope sincerely any players whinging for game time. There should be.
So maybe take your chance when you get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Luke, Stones Ake.
Stones Ake. I can see, obviously, because if I'm right in saying this is Stones last year, isn't it? A City, isn't it, at the moment? Yeah. So, I mean, I'll ask Martin this as well, obviously, he knows a bit more than I do. Can you see City giving him a new contract, or do you think that's more of a case of us game time and fitness at this point? No. So it's probably his last year then.
I can't guarantee you Stones will be here in January.
All right. Well, Joe,
and then JMCFC beats me to it. Yeah, I'm not sure you'll see him. I think one of Ake or Stones will be gone in Jan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think Ake for me I think he's made a great servant for the club. If he needs to stay for the rest of the season, that's cool. But I think either one probably good January and I reckon the summer, but the other one goes in the summer. I think they've both been great servants for the club, and Stone's especially been in for such a long time. Obviously, injuries not been ideal, but he's sort of he's fought for some good seasons as well. Ake, since coming in, has been a brilliant servant, left back, centre back, and has done a good job for us in treble year. I just think that it's time to move forward. Both of them. I think both of them have done a great job, but it's time for us to move forward now. Younger players like Vitor Hayes obviously coming through. Obviously, Girona is doing very well at the moment. I think that, like anything with a rebuild, players like Stones and Ake, who have been part of the dominant era we've had the last 10 years, who've been unbelievable, it's always going to be a point where it comes to an end. Every dog has its day at a club or whatever it may be. So, I think I think one or two probably go January, and then the other one will probably go in the summer. So I think it's probably right that this is the last year. Both of them have done a great job for us, but it's time to move on.
Yeah. Martin, I think you want to say on Stones and Ake?
I think they've both been absolute tremendous servants to Manchester City. Both been absolute phenomenal defenders. Can't thank them enough. But time is time.
Yeah.
I think one will go in Jan, one will go in the summer.
Yeah.
I don't know what order. That will depend on who comes in. I know he's jumping ahead, but I know the Biana I know everyone's going to hate this. I don't care what they say, and they'll call me rhetoric, ITK, all this other bullshit is. Vieira wants to get moving now in January market.
Makes sense.
And it's not an excuse because it was piss poor, but I think some of the thinking behind Tuesday was, let's see who's ready and who we can get rid of in Jan. Because right now, if we want to buy anybody in Jan, we have to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And we are at 26 players. You want to bring in 3 players, you've got to sell 4. That's where we're at. And I think as much as it was wrong, etc., and I agree with it, people are going to hate this. I'd rather he did it Tuesday than he do it against Leeds or Fulham midweek. Because for me, the Premier League is still my number 1 guy, and we can't afford any drops in the Premier League right now. And I'm going to be straight with you, and this is where I'm at with a lot of them. A lot of the players, bar probably Reinders, etc., because I still think Reinders is the player there. You can play him. I think some are not ready to play.
Agreed.
To perform in the Premier League. And that's what worries me with a lot of these as we go through them. Ake Stone's brilliant. All right, I'll throw it back to you, Ozzy.
Go on.
If you had a choice out the 2 to go in Jam, which one would you?
Okay.
Okay.
Because
Right answer.
Oh, sorry, I was just because I know you're open, so we're just gonna quit round robbing it.
All right, go on, yeah, quit robbing it. Rich?
Okay, I'd sell everyone ahead of Stones, as you well know.
What, including Coventry, including Kushinoff, Rays, the whole lot.
Yeah, Haaland, any of them.
To me,
Haaland's gone before John Stones.
Wow, head's gone.
Are you related to John Stones in some way? But saying that, John Stones that was our best defender on Tuesday night.
He was.
So,
Yeah. I think he's been all right. I think Stones has been all right this season. I think I just think even if he didn't get a single injury all season, it would take about 5 years before any City fan wouldn't be permanently worried about his injury. He's so great. I think the thing is with Stones is I think he's such a good player. I don't think if he's fit all season, he's not going to want to stay at a team unless he's playing every game.
Plus, by the way, I'm not going to do this homegrown because I know every fucking person hates it when we talk homegrown.
It's a rule, though, isn't it?
This is going to be a problem.
It's a rule, isn't it?
All the players that we're selling are homegrown players, by the way. So we're going to have to start buying homegrown now.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. I think
the 5 homegrown that we sold.
The big difference between Ake and Stones and why I think Ake will go is that the Dutch manager is saying to Ake, you need to play or you're not going on the plane. I suspect Thomas Tuchel knows what Stones can do and doesn't want Stones getting injured and overplayed. So Tuchel's probably quite happy if Stones plays every 2 weeks. Koeman's not happy if Ake does. So
Ake's some big teams, by the way.
Got a lot more to lose.
Very big teams after these 2 players.
Okay, Stones.
I think if Stones walks into just about any team in Europe.
All right, I'm going to shock you all now. Barcelona have shown an interest in John Stones. Liverpool have shown an interest in.
To be fair, though, I can understand from Barcelona because 1, he's a quality player, but 2, he'll go on a free. Do you know what I mean? Why wouldn't Barcelona?
Seeing Stones in basket, that's quite cool. See the basket, that's quite cool. See the basket.
I'm not sure that he's the ideal highline defender the way Barcelona defend at this stage of his career. I think the team would have suited Stones.
We're not swapping him for Kunde. People are swapping him for Kunde. We're not doing that.
Kunde Stones.
Yeah.
I love that. Go be honest.
Do you think we can get Yamal? Do you think we can swap Yamal over?
Please.
We'll send you Oscar Bob and Savinio. You just give us Yamal and we'll call it square.
No, I mean, we could send them the 23 Ballon d'Or winner that never actually won it. Which can't we? We can send them Stones and get them out.
You know the deal, and I think it was LB was on this show, or maybe it was Elliot said Stones to Bayern. I thought that would have been an absolutely amazing deal for him.
This is what I mean, Rich. There are big teams looking at these players.
I think he could play. I think he could play a lot of games for Bayern. I think he'd have a manager who absolutely knows about defenders carrying injuries and how they need to train. and I think the pace would be slightly better than the Premier League for him. So, you know, I said I could see Stones lifting the
I'm going to start that comment from Pardo when we come back to it because
yeah. Well, I'm gonna move us on from Atkins Stones anyway, Martin.
He's going to be Rico. I know he's going to go into Rico.
No, I'm going to go for Kuznov and Ait Nouri because I like to say I want to start.
What you're going through the whole 11?
I'm just going through those. I'm going through those players who started against Leverkusen who possibly.
Fine. Well, Ait Nouri for me he's barely played much, and he really as much as he would do. So I think for him, give him a bit of time, a bit more game time, maybe it'll be all right. So I just think it's more Husanov's more of a competition than Ait Nouri right now. I'd say at the moment. That's just me, but I think Ait Nouri was brilliant on Tuesday, but I still say that O'Reilly's probably ahead of him right now, left back. I'd say out the two. But I think Husanov for me was definitely a bit of a concern because Husanov before the injury would have done a lot more tackling, a lot more braver than on Tuesday. It was a shame because I feel like he kind of regressed backwards a bit from where he was. So yeah, I mean, look again. I'm not, hopefully it sort of gets back to him, but Husanov's, I think, it's unique ability compared to what Diaz Vardio offers. That he's not afraid of going in for a tackle. I like that about him. Like he's not afraid to sort of get dirty and get down when he needs to be. I think Diaz does a little bit of the blocking, but want to tackle him. But I just think that it's not, having someone like that in your team who can have that confidence to do it is very important. And it'd be a shame
during the international break.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I agree. I agree totally there, Luke, with all your comments that you just made. For me, Ait Nouri is a player that, he's had injuries when he first came in.
Yeah,
struggled to get back into the team because at the end of the day, O'Reilly has been phenomenal, and again, I think he's probably been the best, left back in the league this season. Really and truly, I think he's put on some absolutely amazing performances. So it's really difficult for Ait Nouri to get back into this team. So I can understand why Pep gave him the chance to play because he needs the minutes.
Yeah,
he just didn't. For me, I think he's still got question marks on over his defensive display because I think going forward.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, thanks, Bevo. I think going forward, he's going to be outstanding. Defensively is where I do have big question marks over Ait Nouri.
Sorry, big up Bevo with that.
Yeah, just about to do that.
Bevo, by the way, I am going to plug it because I need to meet you because I've not just got one Tedder, I've got a few Tedders. So I need to get them all down to you on Saturday, mate. My missus has picked them because I'm no good at choosing bloody Tedders. You'll end up with Halloween shit and also you'll end up with all sorts of crap with me. So I allow the lady to pick the teddies for Saturday, mate. But I will be down. I'll be down there for about. I'll be anyway. DM me, Bebo, because if you want an hand with anything, let me know. I can go around collecting them if you want as well for you. I can push it around, but I'll be there early on Tuesday. No. I'm in London early on Tuesday. I'm not in Manchester on Tuesday. I'm in London on Tuesday. At the Etihad on Saturday.
Good to know what you are, mine.
Again,
thank you so much.
I'm away. Fair play.
So everyone's going to put a tenner on City to win, City to lose.
Oh God!
I thought you were off to see Westlife, mate.
No, my missus has not got me tickets to Westlife. I am slightly disappointed in that because I do like Westlife and I don't care. This is 2025. I am allowed to like what music I am allowed to like. I do like a bit of Westlife. Sooner. Just because you like Steps and Boyzone ain't my fault, Bozzo. You know what I mean?
Everyone thinks with this ZZ Top beard, I really like them. But yeah,
I think Juma Bar will do another season on loan.
Yeah.
A lot of people, are saying, by the way, Stones would suit a Barcelona style.
I think his passing definitely would, but his pace was not much pace anymore.
Could you put him with a quick play though? Could you put his Kunde quick? I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't watch loads of Barcelona. I'm not going to.
To be fair, Kunde, Kubasi, and Stones would actually be a good. And was it Balde? Actually, would be a good back line. Actually, Balde would be a good back line. Yeah. But the one for Barcelona defenders, but yeah.
Why Martin hyping Instagram, mate? What? Why Matt? What? Who am I hyping? He failed Premier League team test. What? Who?
What?
Who?
Vague comment.
Yeah, that is very.
I mean, I get it. I get it. You love me. You called yourself unofficial Martin, and your thing is me of blue pill, red pill. But who are you on about here, mate?
Rich, what are your feelings on ignoring Kusanov?
I think they'll be both good players for City. I think Kusanov defensively, when I think defensively better than Nunes at the moment, although Nunes has improved unbelievably. But Nunes is obviously going forward in a different league. I think Kusanov, I mean, we haven't seen enough of him to really judge him overall, but I think he's got attributes we lack in the squad, which should be very useful. And I think I'm quite happy with him. Aït-Nouri, I mean, Aït-Nouri, in my opinion, hasn't really changed since before we signed him. I thought at Wolves he was one of the best attacking left backs in the league. I think he's potentially a very, very good player. And we just haven't, injury and O'Reilly's form, we just haven't seen him. And in a way, the AFCON could be, as long as we don't get injuries in those positions, the AFCON could be a godsend for City, because both Marmoush and Aït-Nouri need football. They need a lot of football. They need fitness. They need sharpness. They need confidence. And AFCON will give both of those that opportunity without it being a risk in the City side. So, provided O'Reilly stays fit and we don't get a massive injuries up front or Haaland get injured, that could be a real blessing, because in 2 weeks' time they're both going to go off. Hopefully for them they'll play 5, 6, 7 games and come back fit, confident, sharp for when we'll really need them, because we're really going to need our squad the most in that time in January and February and March, when it will be well, even though it will be brutal, and we're going to have to play O'Reilly and some of the other forwards more games over Christmas and January than we would because of the players being at AFCON. But no, I think they're both. I'm more than happy with those two in the squad.
Yeah, I think you make a great point about the AFCON, mate, and for both players, I think you're right, totally right. Again, I'm going to keep it to 2 players because I think there are 4 left.
What I got to say?
I thought you could just say during interruptions, but
you say anything?
No, I've not said anything on him. Aït-Nouri, I have concerns on.
Okay, go on, mine.
Tell you why. Does anyone think he jumps into challenges? And when I mean jumps, literally jumps. Watch his body when he's tackling. He's half off the floor.
Yeah, I think he's trying to establish himself into this team. I think the opportunities he's trying to get himself into, I think he's got a teenager in front of him, so I think he's maybe going a bit OTT to try and get a starting position. But, again, he's been out injured a lot. So,
yeah, no, I get it. And he is, and you are right. He's trying to establish. See, for me, Aït-Nouri suits to transition play.
Yeah, he does, 100%.
Yeah, he does.
This is the problem with this whole squad. And this is why I still think we are in a transition. Doesn't mean we can't win a title in transition, by the way, but we are still in it. Half of our squad are in one mindset of possession.
Yeah.
Half of the squad are in a transition phase. And I think that's the same with Pep. I think Pep's half and half in. And again, coming back to the different keys for different locks, because here's my thing. There are going to be some games where we're going to have to play possession-based football because the opposition don't want the ball.
Yeah.
You can't play transition against a low block because you need them to come out to you to play the transition. Otherwise, what do? The ball just floats around. And this is the problem with this. I think while you've got the likes of Stones, Ake, Bernardo, all these sort of players, they want to play pep ball. Aït-Nouri, Cherki, etc. want to play transition. And we're in 2 minds now. And I think this is part of the issue at the moment. We are still in this transition period that I think will get sorted. I do think we will. Because I noticed something. I mean, you just, I mean, ain't nor it. And who was the other one you were talking about? Was it Kushanoff? Who was
Kushanoff, yeah.
Kushanoff. Did anyone notice this? Before he got injured, he was tackling everything that moved.
Yeah, I said that.
On Tuesday night, because I said this, you watched that first goal by Leverkusen. Kushanoff 7 weeks ago would have just rapped through that guy and sent him.
Yep.
Took the yellow card and said, see you later. He sort of put his hands up and went, all right, and let him go by him.
He's gone too cautious. I don't know why he's done that. When he was so good at sort of doing those tackles at the right time, wasn't he?
And yeah, and this is and maybe that's Pep thing of, and because I know there was not a concern of being rash, but just calm down a little bit. But has he calmed down too much?
Yeah.
And it's getting that happy median. I think this is where the squad's at right now. I don't think this squad will get to where we need to be for another 6 months anyway. Well, I think it was always going to take 2 or 3 windows.
Yeah. It does feel.
Sorry, mate, go on.
Go on, mate.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to say that I think at the moment it feels like we're in a bit of a hybrid kind of way of playing, where we're playing kind of a pet slash.
Look what he's put now, Oz.
Raise me up.
You deserve it. That's all I'm going to say.
He's laughing right now. That joke to himself. I know he is.
Is it because you're looking like that? Or is it because you're flying without wings?
Oh, my God's sake.
Jesus.
Oh, the cringe jokes.
Yeah, enough of your cringe jokes, Martin. Otherwise, I'm seriously kicking you out. So for me, it does feel that it's a bit of a hybrid system of Pep / Klopp.
And I think that was part of the problem with Tuesday night. I mean, we keep going back to Tuesday night. I think that was part of the problem. You had half a possession-based team, half a transition team, and a Bayer Leverkusen who just wanted to play transition against you. The trouble is you can't play transition against transition.
No.
So what do you do? Something's got to give.
Yeah, so Marmoush is a player that plays well on transition, like Haaland does. The two are sort of similar.
Spot on. Marmoush is a transition player. Yeah,
and Marmoush was always going to struggle on Tuesday about bloody players finding him. And the problem is, and again, Rico's not a creative midfielder. Reinders is kind of ish a midfielder like that, but he's more of a box midfielder, I'd say, than he's actually.
I think Reinders is more of a. I think Reinders is more.
All right. Well, let's get onto it. Let's get on to Rico Lewis and Reinders.
Okay.
So
Rico Lewis, I'll go with this because I'm going to be very direct and very to the point. I'm sorry. He ain't good enough for Manchester City Football Club, full stop.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
And I don't mean this to be harsh. Can someone tell me his natural position?
Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even Rich can't tell me his natural position. He's staring out of a window looking at his swimming pool right now. Even he doesn't know where his natural position is.
It's somewhere.
Rico should have gone to Forest.
Should have
gone to Forest. By the way, and I will say this, the club accepted the move to Forest. Rico turned the Forest move down.
That contract.
Rico turned it down. No, but the contract was a thank you for being loyal in a way of, and it wasn't even a big contract. It was only like a 10 grand pay rise and an extra year on it because he still had a long contract.
Right, okay, fair enough.
It was just an additional year and a 10 grand just as a thank you.
It's just that,
remember Zinchenko? Remember when Zinchenko, we had the bid from Wolves and we turned it down?
Yeah.
And that's someone who got a new contract. Wasn't a big bump. It was like that. Oh, thanks for being loyal.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Yeah.
You got to be careful where you go with the contract things. That's the problem of it's not a folding contract or a Rodri contract. It was minimal money for a minimal extra year as thank you. But the club were willing to sell him. And I think the club will still.
It also puts the club in a position where if for some reason he doesn't work out, it's not hard to unload him because you're not paying.
He's not good enough. I think he'll be a great player at other places. He ain't good enough for Manchester City. I'm sorry.
The difference is that they're really stronger and has more position in this team in terms of where we're going. Whereas Rico just hasn't got that position on the team to do that. Sadly.
Be back in 1 minute. I was going to give TREBLE.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think Rico Lewis is one, as Pepper's kind of said, he's a utility player. You know, he can go anywhere. He could be midfield. He could be right back. I know right back isn't particularly his best position right now, but you only think of a few seasons ago where he came in and we were all of us saying what an excellent job he was doing. So I don't. For me, it's not that I don't think he's not good enough in some respects. It's more the where does he get the realistic the game time, and is he going to be happy of being that player who will come off the bench and do a job when we need him to? Because it's so difficult for him. Where realistically, where does he get the starting 11
He
position?
won't get it, though, mate. He won't get it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that I just don't. I'm hard. I don't see it. I think Pep loves him in a lot of respects because, like I said, I think he spoke about him so much, the last few years since he got into the team. He was one of the academy kids that he saw and went, "Wow, I want you in the first team because I think you're excellent." So there's a lot of good things about Rico Lewis. I don't want to go two-footed on him because I don't think he deserves it. I actually don't think he was the worst player on that pitch.
He wasn't.
Against Leverkusen. I actually thought he was probably one of the players that could come walk off and go, I didn't do that much of a bad job compared to some people. So I just that's the thing. I struggle to see his future at City, sadly, because I still think if he was happy to do a job and come off the bench when we need him, brilliant. He's that type of player that I want to keep. But for his own career,
his own age as well, he's young still as well.
That's the problem.
His age now. If he was 17, whatever. But because he's 21 years old now, he's like Trafford, week in, week out is what he needs. He is what he needs at his age, and we can't just say right, you're playing every game because as much as we'll like to have every single youth player playing every game, if you're good enough, you play. It's that simple. And Rico, he's got decent ability, but I think he's better for someone like a Forest or someone of that level where he can get into the first team and play week in, week out. I think he would do very well at a different club like that. But for us,
I think he's like I think it's the situation with Bob too. I think Rico needs a season of playing every week, and if we could loan him out to a Premier League team and guarantee he'd get that, then it would be fine. But generally, we've been we haven't been good with loaning. We loan players out and they get no game time.
It's very
because and that's the problem for the other club. Unless there's a desperate need that they have to get someone and they're going to play them every week, there's very little incentive for another club to prioritise playing a lone player to develop them for another team if they're not the ones who are going to benefit from the work they put in. And that's why I think we've done so many sell with buybacks, because then at least there's an incentive to the other team to play them. So I don't know. Rico, you wouldn't start him in any massive game, but if you need someone to play in some of the Champions League games or the cups, you need someone to come in and play a 8/10 role in the team and be part of the machine. He's great, but is that what he wants? I mean, is he happy to just be a part of a machine and not the real core, or does he want more? And I guess that's him, but then you worry if he doesn't want more, that is he ambitious enough? So it's tough.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think there's probably less up or down. So take a player like Savinho. I think he's capable of being a truly world-class player. He's got the attributes. So I think there's a big upside to him. I think there's a big downside because he can have games whereas with Rico, there doesn't really have mares, but he doesn't look like he could become one of the best players in the Premier League. No. So it's almost like it's just a bit,
It's difficult, isn't it? Because I think if he was, 28, 29, and he was happy to be that player, it'd be great. But he's a young kid and he needs to play. It's sadly, I think for him, he may have to move on for his own good.
Yeah.
Martin, I don't know if you want to have your sound, Rico, or we'll come back and we'll carry on with Ryan.
I'm not equally, Ozzy. I'm not desperate for him to go because he doesn't worry me.
Him
being on the bench or him, So it's
My only thing is someone has to go, Rich. If you want to make signings in January, people have to go, whether it's on loan or to get sold.
Well, I'm not sure that's
they have
true,
to go, Rich. The transition doesn't work.
Yeah, but selling club-trained players doesn't help the squad, because if we sell a club-trained player, that's going to give us give us no extra slot.
But we can't keep Rico Lewis just on one thing. I'm sorry, we can't. Rico Lewis wants to play, Rich. And the problem is, Rico Lewis is being left at home now.
That is up to him. If he wants to go, fine.
Well, that's what I mean. So, and I think he will do. As Jack Gorn said, there are players who Jack Gorn 10 days ago made a very interesting point that got very ignored by Tuesday night. It was Ake was one, and he said two others, but they'll see how things go over the next few weeks.
Okay, well let's bring up the other midfielder that, you know, there was high expectations when he first came in, and obviously the first game he played for us against Wolves, I think we were all like, wow, this is a player. This is the Gundo replacement that we've been needing since Gundo kind of fell off and then left. But obviously since that Wolves game, we've seen very little from him. I have been worried because for me, he felt like the player that should have just been a plug-in player. He should have just kind of hit the ground running in a lot of respects. Now, again, I'll put a caveat to that. It's difficult to come in, one, into the Premier League, two, to come into a Pep team, to play under Pep. You know, he wants his players to be, you know, the best at what they can do, and we know Reinders has got that. We've seen him when he was in Serie A. He wasn't voted, you know, player of the season for nothing, you know. But so far, he has not adapted really at all, apart from that Wolves game. He's really struggled, and I have looked at him and kind of gone, I can understand. And we've always said it, really. He should have been benched a lot sooner because I think some of his performances have not been up to standard, and that's why Bernardo's had to come in during the few games. So for me, I do have question marks. Ultimately, I do believe he can get to that player that we played at AC Milan. I do think he can be that player, but he's got to get to that level soon. Otherwise, question marks will be asked even more. You know, he's got the rest of the season to show that. But if he doesn't, then I do worry. I really do. So,
but they've all had, you know, David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, three of the greatest players in the history of Manchester City, all had some time adapting to the pace of the Premier League. So I think we understand that for all of them, it was probably a year before they really started to show, and in Rodri's case, more than a year. So I think we have to understand that we have to give Reinders the season to adapt to. Yeah, it's just basically, I think it's basically you have half a second in the Premier League to react and make your action, where you probably have 1.5 seconds in Italy, and he's just got to get used to it. And everyone does come into, Nico Gonzalez. Look at him, 11 months into his City career compared to the beginning of it. Just
you're right. Far too soon on Reinders.
I also think as well, right, the reaction to him is like, oh, he's shit, he ain't good. Like, seriously, like the guy's barely playing or start consistently very much this season anyway. I just think the quality is there and it will come through. Again, what we got to do is start playing the way where we can sort of play that traditional style of play because he can do it perfectly.
Well, Sam's put here, not worried about Tijani, but don't like how Nico G's left. But that was the one thing we all agreed was the problem with Reinders. And Reinders said it himself, he's not the best tackler. No. He's not a physical. You look at, actually, Reinders has got the most assists this season.
He does, yeah.
He's better going forward. He's not a guy who will get in the dirty stuff and go.
But no one's Gundo.
No, but for me, I just think Reinders needs time. I think he needs time. Maybe he is one who needs to. For me, I just think it's way too soon to say he's shit. Yes, there are concerns pace-wise, but I don't have concerns physicality-wise because that was one of the issues we kind of knew with him. That physicality-wise, he wasn't that guy. He wasn't a box-to-box tackler, this, that, and the other. For me, so my issue with Reinders, Ozzy, again, is style of play.
but it's patience as well. I think with him, it will come good. I know it will come good. I think he's a talented player. He can score goals. He can create chances. He can do that kind of stuff. It's just that once you get to a position when we know what we're playing, obviously. But I reckon after January we get players through the door as well. That's what match we're trying to do.
Do you know what Reinders is a victim of? Patience.
Yeah.
No one's got the patience anymore. The problem is every new player has to come in and hit immediately.
Shirky, for example, isn't it? Shirky was...
Yeah, and that's the problem with everything now. Because we're in this transition period, people have got less patience than what they did 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Where we gave Bernardo the time, Sterling the time, we gave David Silva the time, we gave everyone the time.
Savinho the time, technically.
But we're not giving anyone else the time. Because of where we're at as a club, which we'll get into when we do the standards bit in a bit.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just going to make some circumstance.
I just want to make this point because I think it's important, because some people will be thinking this, and I think it's understandable to think this, is that he's a player of 27. I think he's nearly 28 now. For me, he was that player that was supposed to come in and be that plug-in player. I'm not dismissing any. I think you guys have said that, because I do agree with it, but I am going to play slightly devil's advocate and say that he's at an age where he should know how to adapt a little bit quicker. He's not churky. He's not like Bernardo or David Silva when they first came in. He's not a young player, is what the argument will be. Do you know what I mean? The argument is that he should be doing a lot better by now in some respects. He's not a young player. He's not only AC Milan, but also internationally as well.
He's got the most assists this season out of any City player.
Yeah, but we don't always kind of look at G&A. We look at the eye test as well, Martin, don't we? We look at how he's actually playing, and ultimately there are times where he's not willing to do that risky pass. He's not willing to, break the lines as much as we've seen him do for AC Milan.
Well, I agree with that.
Doesn't crash the box like he did at AC Milan. Those are things I'm not seeing, and I want to see that from him. I think a lot.
The trouble is he is a victim of circumstances, because the trouble is you've dropped Foden down as the 8. Foden's dropped into a deeper role, which is where you predominantly want Reinders. Are you going to drop Nico J? This is the trouble. Bernardo, someone has to drop to get Tajani in. This is the problem. We've got to try and get. This is where, yes, rotation again. I didn't have a problem with Reinders playing on Tuesday, because I think there's a player there. Reinders has played a lot of Premier League games. This is why I don't fully put it on Pep on Tuesday, because there was enough experience out there to help.
And do you think
to put more in than what they did? And I include Foden, I include Haaland, because we made subs at halftime. So I don't fully put it all. Yeah, Pep was a dick. Completing our tool, as Alan said, but so were the players.
All right, well, I'm going to bring Rich, just because you've only got a few minutes left, mate.
Yeah,
so
true.
I want you to have your Reinders, but also if you want to quickly mention Bob, Savio, and Mamouche, because you've got a few minutes left, just go for it.
So Reinders, I think it's just a matter of time, and I think with him not being quite as defensive as some of the others, then perhaps Reinders suits better if we're playing Bernardo if we're playing Bernardo on the right, for example. Bernardo comes back, frees up Reinders, still gives us the strength in midfield, and I think Reinders was probably the biggest victim of the 10 changes. Because honestly, I think if we had Guardiola and Diaz centre back behind Nico, I don't think, because of the settled nature of that, there would have been the same issue needed for him defensively, and so he would have probably had a better game. So I think Reinders, I'm more than happy with him. Bob is a player I actually think more than any other player at City could do with a loan and playing 40 games in a season. I think he's down on confidence. I think he's a very, very good player. I think he, is potentially a future player. He could play several hundred games for City, but he's down on confidence. He hasn't got his mojo back since the injury. And I think it's very hard to get your mojo back coming in and out, playing occasional games, because there's so much pressure on you and you've got no rhythm. So I don't know whether we could find such a good player. I would think we could find a team who he could go and we could pretty much guarantee he starts for, and he gets 30 games under his belt between January and the summer and comes back the player he can be. Savio, I think Savio's got every aspect of the game to be a truly world-class player. I think he can bring a ball down beautifully. He can beat a man. He's shown in Spain.
So you've not signed the petition then, Rich?
But no, I think Savio's in the same boat that Doku was in before. Is that he's young, he's in a bloody hard league, he's at the top of that hard league, and it's a really difficult situation because Savio needs a season of football, but Man City can't necessarily afford him to have a season of football, getting used to it. So with Savio, I hope we persist with him, but not necessarily starting him in the biggest, hardest games, but persist with him in rotation, and he gets that confidence and he gets that mojo. Because if not, we're going to sell him, and he's going to eclipse Alvarez in the Spanish league, and we're all going to be saying, "Why is this, world star tearing up Spain?"
Even I can't agree with that
when he's here.
But have your say afterwards.
Yeah, but who knows? But he's not doing a good enough job that Pep should be picking him for the team at the moment, and that's the rub. But I would say that we've only got the Doku we've got today because we persisted with Doku when he might not always have been good enough to be in the team. And it's same with Rodri. We only got the Rodri we got because we persisted with him when he probably wasn't anywhere near as good as Fernandinho. So, but when you want to win every game and you've got this standards comment, it's very hard for you to ever have the patience to develop the players to become brilliant. You can do it if the other 10 players in the team are all playing at their best. But when you're in transition, the very nature of it is they're not. And that means that it's a very difficult position to be in. Because if fans' expectations don't change from we're going to win the league, we're going to win the quad, we're going to win the Champions League, and you're transitioning, there is no time to have patience to let players become good. Nico Gonzalez, we stuck by, and we are now seeing the reward for giving him the chance to learn, adapt to, and be in the Premier League. And he got some stick along the way. But we only finished third last season. And a lot of people were deeply, deeply unhappy about that. And then Marmoush is the one I'm not worried about at all. I think Marmoush is a top player. I think he'll go off to the AFCON, he'll get a lot of game time, and we'll come back. I think more on the left. I still think I'd like to see Doku on the right, Marmoush on the left. Both able to float behind Haaland. But I'm not worried about Marmoush because I think he showed last season what a good player he is. And he now just needs games, and I think AFCON will give him that. And he'll come back and he'll play a decent part of the season, Jan, Feb, March. So, and as for players going, I think a few will go because I think with the World Cup coming up and with players not getting team, there's some players like Trafford and Ake who I think, if we can replace and Pep's happy with it, are going to have to go to create the space and for the sake of their careers.
Yeah. Okay. Rich, before you head off, before you head off, prediction for Leeds.
I'll go 3-1 to City.
No, it's already been taken. Can't have that one.
You can have anything.
Well, you might be right this week, man. I bet we better get Alan's actually. I'll message him.
Okay. like Rich will be off soon, but we'll still continue with just 2 players at a time. So we'll go with Bob and Savio.
Night, everyone.
Right.
See you later, mate. Thanks for coming on. See you
No
soon.
worries.
Yeah, mate.
For me, I think, looking at Bob, obviously, Bob was supposed to have his full first season last season, and obviously he had that horrendous injury. And for me, it's his first full season. As Rich was saying, I think Bob has got so much talent. We've seen the talent he's got. I think he needs time. I think his confidence is shot, in all honesty. I think there's a lot more to come from him, but I don't expect it this season because he's not at the level and ready enough to be in the starting 11. I think he's definitely can come off the bench and add to the team, and be, playing in the lower kind of, Carabao Cups and the FA Cups and, trying to get into that starting 11 for Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues. But he needs the time. I'm certainly happy to give him that time because I think he's definitely a player that's worth it. Savio I can kind of understand where Rich is coming from. I kind of agree with him on some points. He's a very young player that's come in. It was his first season last season. We always say, as I said with Bob, you give him that first season. This season, you want him to kick on. He had a lot of games last season. He had to play a lot because of the injuries we had. And you'd like to see him be able to give him the chance. But I think the problem is that he's of what happened during the summer with Spurs. A lot of City fans were not happy about that, regardless if there was a bid or not. A lot of City fans were not liking the fact that he was flirting with an idea of possibly going to Spurs. Why would you want to leave City for Spurs? Realistically, they're not. I'm sorry, but they're not a top 6 side. As much as they're in Champions League right now, I just, if you want to win the trophies, who are you going to stay at, City or Spurs? So I think that monkey is going to be standing around him because of what he possibly tried to do. So
His age,
yeah, that's fair enough. But he didn't come out and shut it down. That was the problem as well. So again, he's a young kid. He was getting advice from his agent, and these things happen. But the fan base.
Anything said on Barcelona on the Doku's agent trying to get him to Barcelona last January?
It's very agent as well, isn't it?
This is my thing with the Savio thing. It's becoming a bit of a pile-on, and I get it.
Yeah, it is.
Other players have had offers from other clubs, and we've not treated them the same way.
I know. I agree.
I think it is a pile-on for Savio. Personally, I think Savio will leave. I think he needs to leave, not because I think he's a bad player, because I think City fans are being way over the top with him at the moment. We've never done a petition for any footballer. And then trust me now, I have seen 30 players, 40 players, a lot worse than Savinio.
Yeah.
In a blue shirt. And we've never done a petition with them. This Savinio thing is becoming a bit of a pile-on.
But I also think, Martin, he hasn't helped with some of his performances. If we're going to be honest, like some of his performances have been
that's fair.
Stinkers.
But there wasn't this pile-on for Doku. There wasn't this pile-on for Grealish. There wasn't this pile-on for a lot of players who didn't perform in a blue shirt.
Do you remember of Martin Walker last season? Do you remember when Walker was getting piled on by the whole fan base? Yeah. It's the same thing again. It's happening again. His fan base cannot calm down at all.
They seem to think attack is the way to get him out, and bullying.
It's disgusting.
And I'm sorry, I don't agree with it. And yeah, you can criticize, but I think some of the stuff that's been said, that was being said about your kid or your mum or your dad or your sister. Nah, I don't agree with it. I think it's disgusting how people want to act now, but each to their own, I suppose. It's got beyond even criticism now. It really has got nasty.
It's hatred now. It's disgusting.
And this was the reason. This was part of the reason Edison went out the door.
Yeah.
Walker's talked about this. Players see and hear every. Would you want to go and play good every week if you keep getting called some of the things he is?
No, you make fair comment.
I'm not being funny here, but we're not exactly helping it here.
It's almost like we're like, do you really think as well players want to come here seeing how that player's being treated as well by some people in his fucking family?
Like, if he was 27, and I'm not backing him, by the way, he was 20. If he was Reinders and he had all this, he's 20, 21. God.
Let him just develop, man. Seriously, let him develop. Seriously,
if someone treated my 20-year-old son, I've got children older than Savinio. And then we're, oh, poor man, he's 20 years old. Well, I'm sorry, if that's the way you treat your children, then big up to you, have a great time. But you're a poor parent then for me. I wouldn't treat anybody. It's not... Does he need to improve? You know this. We spoke about this privately, Ozzy. 100% he needs to improve.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
absolutely
that he doesn't need to improve.
I think
the thing, Ozzy, is sorry, one last. You got me on my fucking soapbox now with this.
I really have.
Last season, we attacked players for being unks. Now we're attacking players for being 20. Is there anyone not off the grid at the minute? Are we just attacking anybody now? And then everyone goes, oh, it's social media. Why is social media an excuse? Because I'm going to tell you something now. And I know people abroad will think this is a crazy rule, but in the UK, some of the thing that's being said about Savinio, if you said that in the UK, someone else in the UK, you can be put in prison for it now.
Yeah.
You can be arrested for online hate.
Yeah.
There was someone a few weeks back who put a very nasty comment about someone on Facebook. The police turned up at the door. I'm not saying, but this acceptance of it's okay. Why?
It's my opinion.
Because a 14-year-old who hasn't started puberty yet, he's sat there behind his computer giving it the big un. Yes, he is. He is. Needs to absolutely. Hey, don't do that. You don't live in the. Do you live in the UK, mate? So you don't know.
No.
The UK is far better than a lot of other countries, mate, in the way they dictate. Yeah. Well, let's not do that.
Let's not have a Martin rants.
No.
Let's not. Let's really not.
We don't go around doing. We don't go around anyway. No, I won't say it.
No.
I'm not going to say it. I won't say it.
Don't say it. Don't. Let me come in and save you. For me, let's be honest. If we look at the winger situation right now, okay. When we came into the season, there were massive questions over the wingers, over Bob, over Savio, and even over Doku. Now, Doku has proven himself this season to be the player that
3 years, third year.
Yeah, but he's 23, Martin, as you were just saying about Savio.
I agree. No, what I'm saying is Savinio's a year and a bit into his City contract. A year and a bit.
Yeah. No, I agree. But we had 3 wingers, okay, that none of us, apart from probably myself with Doku, but I think most of the fan base was still big questions around all those wingers. And I think going into the season, seeing what Doku has done, I think we all feel that actually, I think people are now more on board that he has got a City future because of, I think he's such a quality player. But we have issues around the rest. Savio and Bob, again, we can look at it as I've said, and you guys have said, it's early in their City career. I think what we possibly need is going into the January market, if not the summer, is a more experienced winger who can add goals and assists. Because at the moment, especially with the right wing, we can have Doku on the left, but it's that right wing where we have a lot more concerns. It's that right wing of, really and truly, Bob hasn't nailed it down, Savio hasn't nailed it down, and we don't want to see the likes of Bernardo Silva or Foden out on that wing. Cherky has come in, and Cherky can possibly do a job, but again, I don't want to rely too much on him. Still, I want him to come into the team and gradually build confidence, build experience, and build, as we all know, as a player coming into this squad, into this pep team, he needs time. So I don't want to put all of that on him. What we do need is a more experienced player. And as Martin has probably going to get onto in a minute, like there are those experienced players that possibly might come in Jan, if not the summer. So I think that is where the ultimate is what I see as the problem right now. Whether Bob or Savino, whether one of them are released to go, or one of them needs to go out on loan, or we just need to give them more time. We need more, really. Let's finish off with Mamouche. And obviously, Mamouche came in last January, and he was a breath of fresh air. He came in, scored some critical goals. I mean, I think of that hat trick against Newcastle, and just, I mean, such a quality player. You know, he was tearing up in the Bundesliga. He had the most goals. Absolutely phenomenal. This season, obviously, he had injuries at the beginning of the season, and he hasn't seen much game time. And when he hasn't been brilliant. Against Leverkusen, I didn't blame him for that game because I just felt he wasn't getting the service. What I did find slightly concerning is when he was coming on. You know, I think of when he came on at Newcastle, he came on the 86th minute, which I just couldn't understand why at that moment he was coming on. That we needed goals, and he should have been subbed on sooner. And then against that team in
Sorry, 1 minute. Mr. JMCFC, just behave on that, mate. We don't do that now.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but we don't use that terminology in here, mate.
Don't say that on YouTube, man.
That's not something we joke about.
No, and please refrain, otherwise we will boot. We're not going to keep you here just for the sake of it. You know, we don't accept comments like that. So for me, Mamouche is, I still think there's a quality player there. I'm like where Rich said, I do think he just needs a consistent amount of games. I think with him going to the AFCON, hopefully, you know, he'll go. Hopefully he doesn't get an injury. Hopefully we don't get an injury with Haaland. And then he comes back and he's able to add, you know, coming back into the later half of the season after he's been to the AFCON and had that game time, and hopefully built confidence in the match time to produce for City ultimately. So, but I was concerned with those times he was coming on of late. It just seems like something's not quite right, and I don't know what that is, but it slightly worried me. Luke, what about you, mate?
Well, I said before that Mamouche is better on transition anyway, but he needs service. Like Haaland, he needs service. So, like, as much as he can get the ball hit a long shot, which he's very good at doing, he's probably the best in the team at scoring long shots outside the box. But you can't do that if he doesn't get the ball, and that's the problem. Like, if you're going to play on a transition style of play, if you like a Foden or a Shirky behind him, he might have been a bit different because he probably would have had some service towards him. He probably would have had a chance. A few more chances, he probably would have scored. It's just down to the fact that I think with him, it's a bit more game time, and also ask you both this question as well. I mean, I don't think he's better position striker. I think he's better behind a striker anyway. I don't think he's a striker in this team. I don't think he is. I mean, we've tried it there. And I mean, sure, he might get service and might score, but in the big games, obviously, when Haaland's playing, we're going to do what 2 up front, or we're going to do 1 behind? Like, it's like, how are we going to play him? Because otherwise, we're just playing like him on the bench all the time, off the bench. When in reality, we can use him and play him. But then again, if you're going to play Mamouche, you haven't got Shaki, Foden, Doku, or Savio, or one of them to get benched. So it's like, no matter what you go with here, again, I know they're saying as a different keys, different locks. Of course, correct. But someone like Mamouche, will he be happy being that player on the bench all the time and off for like a few minutes here and there? It's a big one. I mean, I will say, like, personally, I like him personally, but it's down to what we want to do, really, isn't it? The Mamouche going forward.
The Mamouche one the Mamouche one's a conundrum. Mamouche, by the way, is one who was banging on Pep's door.
I bet he is.
Mamouche is one.
But I understand. I understand that. I understand why he wants to. I understand.
Yeah.
The problem is for Mamouche, though, just before you say about it, is that he knew he was never going to come in as a player who's going to replace Haaland.
Yeah, this is always the problem.
Yeah,
and I
And it was with Alvarez.
I will go back to 6 months ago. Mamouche played against Tottenham on the wing, and I remember doing the post match, and everyone said, "Mamouche is not a winger. Stop playing him as a winger. He's not a winger. He's an inside forward." Okay, fine. Now he's suddenly back to being a winger again. So it's a bit like we're just clamoring around left and right to try and fit him in. And I agree.
Yeah.
You are back to the Haaland problem. The problem is, for me, I think he suits that role just behind Haaland.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a 10, not a 9, a bit of in between, and let him have a free role. Actually, is what I'd give Mamouche behind the striker. That free role. The problem is you got Cherka, who just talk about Reinders being the advanced guy.
Odin.
Again, and people are going to hate this. Welcome to the big squad problems, everyone.
Yeah.
You want 26 people, well, then there's going to be problems.
It's not FIFA. You can just
it's a lot easier when you've got 17, 18, and you get a couple of injuries and you can roll out the same squad week in, week out. Pep said this in July. Fine, all stay. He had a meeting with them all, and he said, all stay. Stay. But some of you are going to have to be sat at home. Just so we know, some are going to be sat at home. And they have done. Despite having the most injuries in the league. Despite having the most injuries in this league.
Yeah.
Factual. Well, us and Tottenham have had the most injuries.
Yeah, that's not bad. Well.
Weirdly enough, we've had to leave. And generally, it's been on a bit of a rotation, but generally the two that have been left at home are Oscar, Bob and Rico.
Yep.
Then Kushinov's had a spell out.
Mm-hmm.
Mamouche, remember, was injured for 8 weeks. Yeah. This is another part people forget. Because remember, we were talking about, I remember LB, I don't know if he's still in the chat, was talking about could it have been ligaments, and we didn't know at the time. Mm-hmm. And remember, they put out that statement on the website, going to be out for a long time. The problem is he comes back into the squad, Haaland's firing like Billy O. He didn't come back into a team that was struggling. He came back into a team that was on a winning run and flying, winning 6 out of 7. And we were, great. And Pep was like, not going to change a winning team right now. The other problem you got is in 2 weeks' time, he's going to piss off for 4 weeks.
AFCON.
So this is the problem. I just think this is going to be a very weird season for Mamouche. I think Mamouche will be fine once. I think he needs the AFCON out the damn way.
Yeah.
Get it all out the way and get back and focus again. I think it's a funny season for Nora. I think it's a funny season for Mamouche.
AFCON World Cup, yeah.
Yeah, I think Mamouche will be fine long term.
Oh, yeah,
I think he'll be fine because whereas Alvarez didn't want to play any other position other than the 9. I think Mamouche will play another position.
He's a team player as well. I think.
Yeah,
he's got an ego like arrogance about it.
Yeah, and there is a player there in Mamouche. I mean, by the way, guys, the guy's on nearly 300 grand a week.
He's a brilliant player.
He's on £290,000 sterling, by the way, not euros. Sterling.
He'll get his time.
Basic.
He will get his time in the sun. 100%.
Basic. And then everyone goes, well, what about Haaland? Footballers are very selfish bastards. And I will call them, they are. All footballers are selfish.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland, people forget this, they have a basic wage. Do you know what else they have? They have goal scoring bonuses.
Oh, Haaland's bonuses.
If Erling Haaland is sat on 2 goals and he knows I get a 3rd goal here,
I get a hat-trick bonus.
I get an extra 150 grand if I bag hat-trick. You think he wants his number to flash up for Mamouche? He's saying, you'll sit there, Mamouche, and enjoy it, son. Or you give me the 100. But back on the other side is Mamouche gets performance bonuses. So he wants his stuff. And this is the problem. Everyone is fighting for their own. People go to say, oh, well, it's a team game. No, it's not.
But Martin,
really
the one thing I would say is I think it is a team game because at the end of the day, as I've said so many times on this channel, for me, I do want those players on the bench fighting. I do want them banging down Pep's door, fighting that I want to be in the starting 11. Then you've got to prove it. And I want those players. I want players who are coming in and being on the bench.
Can I go back to Tuesday then? Because they didn't prove it. They didn't prove it. This is why I won't put it.
I will say Marmoush, bit of service to him, probably would have got a couple of goals.
If Phil Foden started from the 90th minute, I think you'd have had service behind him.
Yeah, that's it.
But again, going to that game, there were too many changes, and that's where I would just say.
No, I agree. And listen, me and you were saying the same thing. I get some are going to blame Pep, some are just going to protect all the players. Me and you were off the same hymn sheet. We know it was Pep. We're saying Pep fucked up.
It does.
We're also saying players who have moaned didn't take the chance at the same time.
Yeah.
I'll give Marmoush a bit of like, look, better team round him, probably would have got a few goals.
It's like me moaning. I'm going to be very crude here, and I'm sorry. It's like me moaning to my wife, your girlfriend, or whatever, and you go, we're not doing it enough. And then you jump up, you get a bit, you get an early night, Bob's your uncle, and you last 2 minutes. I'm sorry. Perform time. Perform. They've got to perform. Because here's the thing. Not every player will get an opportunity. This is the fact of football now. Some players get more opportunities than others.
Yeah, I do.
You do your job, Ozza. There are people in your job that get better paid, better everything than you, and you turn around and go, you know what? I work just as hard as them. Tough titty, said the kidder. If life was fair, then there wouldn't be anything to moan about. Every single person would be happy. But I'm sorry, there's managers, there's soldiers, there's all sorts. Not everyone can be the head cheerleader, people.
Yeah.
If you want that, if you want Mamouche to play number 9, fine. Sell Haaland. But don't moan if Haaland goes. You can't have a quarterback and then want another star quarterback sat behind him.
Like having what's his name, Tom Brady, and then go for I want Mahomes as well on the same team. Like, oh bloody all right, Christ, you want to play 2 world-class stars in there. It's you can't do that.
I mean, Mourinho, when he first came into the league, he said it himself. He said, I want 2 world-class players in every position. While he was at Chelsea, when he came in, he never had that at all. So it's all
that.
Quite funny.
It's all that.
Yeah, of course it is.
Slot the other day had the cheek to go, I've not got the squad Chelsea and City have. You've just spent $500 million, you cheeky bastard. How can you moan at anybody's squad when you just broke the transfer record twice in one window, you dickhead? And you had the goal to moan at someone else's squad.
Yeah. No,
lost PSV 4-1 at home.
It's like this money shit. If money was the reason we all won a league, then Chelsea and Man United should be flying at the top of the sodding league.
Yeah.
United have spent more than City and done jack shit with it.
Chelsea has been
We've spent more on City in payouts to managers than we have on players. And by the way, we're on the AFCON. That we need to be more respectful to. Because people look at the AFCON like we look at the Euros.
It's great. The AFCON, I love the AFCON.
Yeah, but we can't go, yes, I get to the AFCON. It's not important to us. I understand that because we're not from an African. I get it. But it's like when the Euros start, we're bothered. Someone in Africa may not be bothered. Someone in America may not be bothered because it's not the Euros. In AFCON, it is huge to Mamouche, to Salah, to Amares, to everyone. That's their Euros.
It's their life, isn't it? Mahrez is captain, free kick in the final to win him as captain of Algeria, win AFCON. That was his dream. He did it.
Liverpool lost titles because Salah. I get it. This is the problem. The problem is we look after our own interests.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry for me rant. Carry on.
Right,
We've not even got to Leeds or standards yet, and I've got a big rant on standards coming up.
2 hours in.
Well, and we haven't got.
He's going through the 26-man squad here. We'll be here till next week.
Well, no. I have finished because that was the players I want. That was the players I wanted to talk about. So we don't have to move on to anyone else. We've covered a few of the players anyway during the chat. Mine,
We're
I
talking
haven't
about
got
Pep, wanker, get him out, sack him, and that tea lady, she can piss off an hell. She makes tea like piss. Get her out the door. And the massage guy, the one thing I will say, because someone tell me what James French is frigging doing at the minute.
Where's the head?
What is James French doing?
Where's the corner
Because we
goals?
brought in a
the
set
corner
piece
goals?
coach. What's he doing?
Where's the corner goals?
Is he
That's
sat
a
on a
good
deck
question.
chair?
We actually haven't scored a set piece.
We've got
What is James French doing?
Rodri, Haaland, Gonzalez, and we can't score a header. What are we doing?
It's a bit of a joke.
Right.
What-
Should we get to the standards part?
Yay! Let's go. There we go, Mark.
Yeah,
All right.
if we must, I'm really hoping we can fly through this because Jesus,
He hates
I
this.
mean, it's-
Right. The reason I can't have said standards is because this is the question I posed last night, and everyone goes quiet on it. What are
Number one.
standards? Because I keep hearing this is not our standards.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right. You can't judge standards in the middle of a season.
Nope.
This is my argument. Because when we won the treble, we were third or fourth in the league. We got beat by Tottenham Hotspur, and then then 115 came out, and then we went and drew at Forest. The standards. The thing is, yes, everyone has standards. I get it. You all want to achieve the best. Arsenal standards are to win the league. City standards are to win the league. Liverpool standards are to win the league. There's one trophy. So is everyone's standards then failing?
That's the issue, isn't it? That is the problem with the standards.
I think a standard to me is your own individual. Every club at the start, Caldoun, Soriano standards are very different to Biana standards.
Mm-hmm.
Soriano standards is that.
Yeah.
The money that comes in the door, the tickets, the sponsorship.
Merchandise.
That's Soriano.
Yeah.
Biana's standards are to get the best players for Manchester City and Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
Pep's standards are to get the best out of his team and to go and to compete for trophies. Everyone will have a different standard to their target. Because Soriano's target is different than Pep's targets. And yes, I know they all come back together. But my point is, standards is a very subjective thing. And the trouble is, we use standards now as a whole term. And I've seen Lee Gunner does this. He goes, standard. And everyone does. You just throw the word standard around like it cares. So hang on a minute. You have a wife. Luke has a girlfriend. Whatever else. I have a wife. We've all got standards, but we don't all have the same looking girlfriend. So are your standards higher than mine, Oz? Are my standards higher than yours?
Have you seen my wife?
No, but I'm talking in general. What is this standard? Everybody's got a standard. Not everyone's standards are the same. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
There is one Premier League. For me, it's as long as we compete for as long as we can.
Yeah, so it should be.
Someone else's standards is, I must win the league. Somebody else's standards is, I want to challenge for the league to the final day. But if I keep saying my standards are 100 points, a treble,
Jesus Christ.
what the frig? What are not my standards then?
At that point, you always be upset, aren't you?
So in 36 years, only 2 teams have standards and everyone's failed. Real Madrid have no standards because they've not won a treble.
And they'll say, oh, but different context. No, it's not. Same context applies.
I don't get the standards thing. This is where I'm confused. And it's why I put it in. I don't get the standards thing. Standards are what you want. Everyone has got standard. You're not always going to achieve your standard. That doesn't mean you fail, though.
No.
So I don't know.
No, I agree. No, I think you've made some valid points there, mate. I totally agree. I think what we could say is that as a fan base, let's just say over the last decade, we've come to expect a lot from Pep, a lot from the players, a lot from the club. We've come to expect to challenge at least for the Premier League.
Yep.
We've expected that City are going to challenge for the Champions League. And we've come to expect they're going to challenge for the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. And our standards have been reached beyond expectation, if we're honest.
Yep.
You know, you think about the last decade, what we've achieved has been remarkable. It's been more than any other club in such a short period of time. More than United, more than Liverpool in a short period of time is what I'm talking about. So I think for our fan base, I think you think of it as you have said so many times, Martin, the old fan base where they've come from Main Road and those days where we struggled as a club for so many different reasons. You know, and we've said it so many times that we won the lottery, we got this injection of cash, you know, and it for the older generation of fans, it blew us away. For the newer fans, whether that's younger fans in the UK or fans across the world who are new to City, they've come to expect this level of standards maybe. And that doesn't go for everyone. I'm just saying generalised a little bit. So I think expectations are different, as you said.
That's
for
the difference.
everybody.
Standards and expectations are two separate conversations.
But they seem to meld sometimes, don't they?
Yes,
Let's be honest.
thank you.
They cross over,
Thank you.
and that's what happens. And that's where we slightly make mistakes from everybody. We all make it. You know, we're all guilty for it. It doesn't matter that sometimes we are called, like, especially Martin and some maybe me at times, you know, the happy couplers. You know, it's the standards we have got for ourselves and what we see and what we think are going to come from the club. So, you know, I think we do as a fan base, we get a little bit mixed up with those two, especially.
Can I ask just Tom a question? Can you name me a club that's done that other than City?
Yeah.
You said they have to win a major trophy each year is the standard. Name me one club that has won. Because Liverpool haven't. Arsenal
I think
haven't.
you could probably argue and say outside of our league, you know, the likes of the league when it comes to Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, PSG, especially over the last decade since they got their money, they expect to win the league every year pretty much because of the standard of their league, if we're being brutally honest. The Premier League is a completely different kettle of fish. You know, it is any of the big six clubs can possibly win it and challenge it. You know, Leicester was admittedly, you know, was one of those weird seasons that we all know of. But generally, it's still so competitive that we get results.
Man United was one. They won, but that was 20 years ago.
Yeah. But they still lost games in those leagues when they won the league. Do you know what I mean? The same with us when we won the league when we won it back to back 4 titles. We still lost games.
Bayern Munich and Real Madrid.
Real last year didn't win anything, did they? Last year.
And by the way, Bayern only do it, because they're in a 2-team league, mate. We're not in a 2-team league.
I'm sorry, but football isn't guaranteed, is it? It's never guaranteed.
This is my point. The only teams we've got to do, you put a Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. And like you said, Real Madrid, did they win a trophy last season? And I get it. We can't just go, we're not Real Madrid.
We're not.
I think this is the problem with this standards thing. They're wanting us. I'm sorry, I'm going to hit people with a cold glass of reality now. We're not as big as Real Madrid or Bayern Munich.
We're not. No, we're nowhere near it.
Can you name me a player we go and buy from Bayern or we go and buy from Real Madrid?
Yeah, unless they want to get rid of.
Yeah,
Robinho, for example.
Unless it's someone they're getting rid of.
Robinho, for example.
And let's be honest.
We play in England.
You look at those leagues, as you said, Martin, you've got Bayern Munich, who pretty much dominate their league because they're the only ones who've really got the money and the power. With the Spanish league, La Liga, it's pretty much Barcelona, Real Madrid. And Atletico Madrid sometimes have won it in the last decade. You know, French league, it's PSG pretty much again. Italian league, that's been a little bit more open over the last few years, but still, it's been AC Milan, Napoli. You know, but the Premier League is so. It's the reason it's watched throughout the world, the most watched league, the most league that people just flock to. You know,
Yeah.
It's because there are so many clubs that have got some money. I mean, we have to look Sunderland. They got to spend 100 million plus and brought in some excellent players. You go around the leagues in France, Spain, and Germany and Italy. They couldn't spend anywhere near that.
Yeah, but Bubbly's come back to PSG because again, PSG are in a one-team league, mate.
Yeah, they are.
And Marseille, decent. So
I'm sorry, Ligue 1, the Bundesliga is a very good league, but the Premier League is the most competitive.
Yeah.
And some people would argue, you know, you have to look at like some outlets like TalkSport will turn around and go, the Premier League is turning into a one league because of what we've done. Do you know what I mean? And yet we're going to argue and saying it's ridiculous because it's not. It's the most competitive. You know, we've been pushed by the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal over the last few years. You know, to get to everything we've achieved.
But because
without those clubs,
we won the UCL, domestic trophies are standards. But hang on, standard. That's not the 80s, Cosmic Batter. And I lived in the 80s, mate. That wasn't what we're doing here. We've won one UCL since the takeover in 18 years ago. We won one UCL.
Yeah,
I don't get. Did you expect us, Cosmic Bagger, to win a major trophy for the rest of our lives?
It was never going to happen, by the way. It's never going to happen.
I don't. I understand. And see, again, expectations and standards are different. Your standard should be win a trophy. Your expectation is different, though.
That's on you, really, isn't it? What do you expect?
Yeah, that's. I don't get. And all anyone can come back to is Real Madrid, PSG, or Bayern Munich, because they can't talk about anyone in England.
All I expect is a team just to compete every year, fight for the badge, fight for the shirt, and just go for it. Like trophies aren't guaranteed anyway. As much as I love it to be, it's not guaranteed at all. You just go for it and give your best. That's all you can do.
For me, challenging every single trophy.
Yeah.
And if we win, we win. That to me is my challenging everything.
Challenging because that's what you can do anyway. Even though you're a good team. You can't.
That's why I still had a glimmer of hope last season because we got to an FA Cup final.
Shame we lost.
So we were still challenging right deep into the tournaments. Yeah, we weren't challenging in the Premier League, so the standard was well below what we set because we should be challenging for the league. I agree with that.
Yeah,
it's I suppose, as I said, and then everyone goes, but it's not the 80s. I get that.
It's not the 80s anymore, Pat.
But it's not the 80s. Well, if it was still the 80s, Liverpool would be dominating because that's all Liverpool did in the 80s was dominant. All United did was dominate in the 90s. Are they dominant? No. Liverpool won in the 80s. Are they dominant? No. It goes through phases.
cycles.
And maybe this is just our phase of a little bit of a transition. But the difference is we have the best owners in world football.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we will carry on because it won't last forever.
Yeah,
and then we need to buy world-class players. Again, we make world-class players. The trouble with buying world-class players, again, why would Valverde swap Real Madrid for us? I would listen, you ask us what I want with Valverde. Valverde is my dream signing. I know he's going to swap Real Madrid for City. Why would he?
Robbed of Valverde Grinders, I'm there immediately. I'm already there.
Yeah, definitely. I think, in all honesty, like our level of domination through the league will come to an end when Pep leaves. If we're being honest,
Everton dominated.
Yep,
Chelsea dominated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everyone has a domination period, and I think it's just. I think we will get back to winning trophies again.
We will.
I think we'll win a trophy this year. Call me deluded. Listen, Arsenal at the minute, and sometimes you know what? Arsenal right now are looking unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't say they're not. They are looking unstoppable. maybe just this year, Arsenal are just too good for anyone. And you
every
have to
day,
throw
yeah.
the arms and goes, now we can do it at this point. But
Exactly.
you know what I want to do? We don't give up. We chase. And what I don't want to see is teams give up like they did on Liverpool last year. I want to chase Arsenal down right to the last few weeks of the season.
And also, too many people, by the way, right, have given up already. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, right? So weak-minded mentality. Like, just it's November, too good. Give it away. It's November.
Well, no, and I get the squad's not as good as it is. Hence, we need to make changes in January.
Yeah, exactly.
We're trying to, but there's only 2 opportunities to make signings: the summer and the win and Jan.
You can't do it all the time.
We can't sell people mid-season.
Yeah.
Casemiro and Varane swap because they were coming to their end, mate. Casemiro's not prime Casemiro at United, mate.
Old Varane when he went.
And Varane wasn't prime Varane when he went to. I'm talking about prime, like Valverde in his prime, Mbappe now in his prime, Haaland now. Not talking about when they're starting to go over the hill.
Valverde, Hakimi, Mendes, yeah.
What you're doing there, is giving me names. Names.
Yeah.
Maradona was a name, but you didn't want Maradona in his last 2 years of his career. You wanted Maradona in his prime, not in the last 2 years. City signed Peter Beardsley, one of the greatest ever midfielders England produced. Didn't mean I wanted him at 37 at City. We got Frank Lampard. Can I say we signed a world-class player then? No, because he was shit. He was coming to the end of his career.
He had a decent year for someone for 1 year. But
City signed George Weah. Jesus Christ, as Spencer Pryor said on here once, we signed his twin brother. Because it wasn't the George Weah we all thought and knew.
I die all right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. George Weah was one of the... Jesus Christ. George Weah sent his evil twin brother along.
George Weah.
So this is why I don't buy in the names. I don't buy in the names. I want to get someone in their prime.
That's what I want.
Like an Elisa. But again, why would Elisa leave Bayern?
One player I'd love is Vitinha from PSG.
I'd love him.
Yeah.
Love him.
Bernardo Silva, right, and him are very, very similar. He's exactly what we need to replace Bernardo Silva with. So it's like some sort of build, physical player. What happened, obviously, PSG was like, to fuck off, but hey.
No. Give me players in their prime nowadays. So like Yamal. The trouble is, the market's different. To get a prime player now, you're looking at 200 million quid. The trouble is, the market's fucked.
Yeah.
Let's be straight. The market is fucked.
The prices are fucking crazy.
And why do you think Real Madrid, who are one of the most, biggest clubs in the world, why do you think they're waiting for when players are running down their contracts to sign them?
Kaka would have been
They're not spending hundreds of millions like they were on Galacticos back in the day on the likes of Ronaldo and Bale. Yeah, they're a little bit smarter. They've gone, we're going to let players run down their contracts like they did with Alexander-Arnold, and then they bring them in.
Or would have been good, like the Bruno. Maybe we should have just paid the £100 million release clause for Bruno. At 27, we should have just paid it. A player in his prime would have had some steel. And Elliot Anderson, a Wharton now. Just go and pay the money now. Go and get the money paid for. To buy any top player, we're going to have to pay the money now.
Yeah, we have to.
That's the simple facts for this.
You aren't going to get a proven player for like £30 million anymore. You're not.
But as we said, Martin, like a few times, I think the reason that City haven't seemed to want to do that over the last couple of seasons is because of a certain 115 looming. It seems that they have not wanted to kind of break that kind of bank of a Jack Grealish. I think that's also burnt them as a little bit as well. So
the trouble is, he's fine. Elliot's fine. He's on holiday at the moment. Listen, I would love all these players, but listen, everyone about Wirtz. Would you have spent 130 million on Wirtz now?
I mean, I wouldn't have sold, but now I'm happy we didn't do it. So
see, the guy I want, you're on about Elisa. The guy I want, I'd go and pay Musiala's release clause.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather Musiala over Lisa.
Musiala and Shirky, but yeah, I love that.
Do you know what I mean? Musiala and Shirky and Foden in the same team. Jesus.
Musiala is a baller. He's an
I'd
unbelievable.
love Musiala at centre. I'd love Valverde. I'd love all these.
FIFA, career
I'd
mode.
like half the French PSG team at our
I'm
club.
liking it. Ireland and Mbappe up front.
Oh, Mbappe left wing, hard up front. Oh, I'm already there.
Guys,
Should we just-
I want these signings. The trouble
Should we
is,
just end
I
the
haven't-
stream and we'll get on FIFA? And we'll just...
Let's do it. Mbappe left wing, hard up front. Yamal right wing. There you go. Sorted.
There we go. Our dreams have come true.
You know, would I have liked Isaac and Haaland up front at the time? Maybe. Would I have liked Mbappe and Haaland up front?
Price.
Yeah, you know, listen,
No.
you want to build a Galactico, fine. Like Andrew
Let's
said,
go
they'd
for
love Michelle. You like your son, your Michelle Keegan, you. She's a rag, by the way.
Oh,
She's a rag. Behave. I made my wife a blue. She's a blue.
That's the way it goes, mate. It's the way
You want to be with me, you're blue. Right. Anyway, so yeah, standards for me is just what you want. Bebo's message me. Does he message you, Luke? He could have told me, Luke. He said that.
no, you missed me at all, actually. Surprisingly. Missed you.
You don't want to speak to you. Right, carry on. Leeds. Unless you
I haven't got very long left, so
that's my bit. I know I've done my bit now. I've done my topic.
Leeds, I mean, just win, really. I mean, two losses in a row, you have to win.
Okay,
We can't
the
afford to
analytical viewpoint in that, then, Ozzy. Just win.
Just
win. Get it done.
Win. Done.
Win anyway. Good night.
I mean, it does feel that this is a game that City need to win.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It feels that if we don't win this, it just feels that challenge of trying to keep on the heels of Arsenal will slip away. Do you know what I mean? And none of us want to see that. We want to continue to see City challenge at least. We don't want to see Arsenal run away with the league. You know, if we're not going to win it, we definitely want to be on their coattails for the rest of the season. We want them to be looking behind them going, Jesus, that big blue shark's behind us. Were you going to say something there, mine?
Oh, God.
No, carry on.
Oh, okay.
Something I've been sent on WhatsApp. I'm just checking something.
Oh, okay. I mean, I would definitely go back to tried and true tested, you know, the team that went out against Newcastle, the team that went out against Liverpool. I want to see that team back firing. Yeah, for me, we need to kind of march on and you know, the fixtures that we've got coming up, the likes of Leeds, is games where I think we've definitely got the opportunity to go on and win and start building up a bit of head of steam. So, yeah, that's what I want to see from the weekend.
Right, just to give Andrew a little bit of thing, Michelle Keegan is a flip-flop. I'll tell you why. Michelle Keegan was a rag. She switched over when she started dating a City fan from the a band that she was in. And here is the evidence to your thing. I'm just going to put this up. Evening, Bebo, so I've got to put this up.
Hey, I've joined at the right time.
Andrew, I'm going to break you out, mate. There you go.
Oh,
Like Summer Bear. And she's not wearing a blue shirt there, is she? On the cobbles of Weatherfield. Right, carry on.
I'm not going to lie, I actually don't know who she is, but I believe you're. I'm always shocked at that. I don't watch soaps.
Neither do I.
I watch anyone when they've got them kind of women in them.
Oh, what's that?
Wow.
I'm not watching for the storyline at that point.
What's that Netflix?
Fair enough, but
It's really good.
Right, Leeds United. Go on, Oz.
But I've basically had my say. It's down to you guys what you want to say. Bevo, it's great to have you on, mate. It's been a while.
Nice to be here. I've just been sitting in the background listening to Martin talk about Westlife. It's all good.
Oh God, mate. Jesus.
Don't give a shit.
Well, we do because we have musical taste. Most of us, I'd hope. So,
Hey, if
Have you
that's
seen your music?
if that's what he likes, then that's what he likes. End of the day, 2025, we're in a new modern era. Do you know what I mean? So
Bevo, it's Westlife. Again, they're not exactly
loud,
even
mate.
they're
Hey,
not
sorry.
even a pop,
Sorry.
mate. So
Sorry.
come on.
gotta be
What's your
inclusive of
kind of
everyone
music?
these
In a
days, mate.
dungeon somewhere, dark, grungy, bing, 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 bang, 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 bang. What's all that crap? It's not even music what you listen to. It's just shouting down a microphone.
It's great.
The bands you like have never heard. They'd love to get a sponsorship with a shampoo company. The trouble is they don't know what shampoo is.
Indeed. I love it. Way better than Westlife. Dear, oh,
Carry
dear.
on, right. Where are you at? Martin, you raised me up. Whoa, calm down, Benny.
Whoa!
Jeez.
I've already done that. I've already
Yay.
done
That's the OnlyFans show.
that.
That comes after dark with Martin, and we'll leave it at that.
Jesus, man.
Martin does a show on a Saturday night called Only Cans. Just sits on the stream, drinks tinnies.
You know, you're diabolical. Earlier.
Bevo, what are your thoughts on the weekend?
I mean, to be honest, a little bit devastated, to be honest, mate, because I'm going to be outside the stadium, but not inside it. So,
Yeah,
Oh,
doing a
enjoy
charity.
yourself, young man.
yeah, so I'm a bit gutted that I'm not going to be able to make it to the game. But yeah, if there's a goal in the first 5 minutes, I'm sure I'll hear the crowd screaming. So, yeah, I think we should be fairly comfortable. We're at home against a team that isn't doing well.
No.
You know, they're talking about sacking Farker at the moment. There's loads of people that have been kind of named for it.
Gerard.
They've looked at Gerard.
Russell Martin as well, I think. As well, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see. I think we could have comfortably probably put the team out that we did the other night. It's like we did it in reverse. The team that we played the other night against Leverkusen, I think we could have played on Saturday against Leeds.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But I would also say that the game against Leeds is more of a win. We need a win more in that game than we did in the one on Tuesday night. But I mean, it's not nice to come off the back of 2 defeats now. Let's just not make a habit of it. Send out the best team that we possibly can, and get a solid, convincing win. Give the team a good boost of confidence, and because I think that's what they need. I think we need to put out a strong team, get a really convincing win, and just raise the confidence levels of all the players, because we've got a massive schedule coming up. You know, we've got Crystal Palace away. That's not an easy game. We've got Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Again, not an easy game. And they're like, what? Crystal Palace and Real Madrid are what, 2-3 days apart?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I think what we really need to be doing is we need to be getting a good amount of confidence behind the team and getting a couple of wins under our belt, start to settle the team back down again in preparation for the Palace and the Real Madrid game. Because you know, every 3 days it's going to come thick and fast. I don't see us losing, but I think we need to go out there and get a really convincing win. You know, like a 4-5-0 solid performance. Just just focus on putting the ball in the back of the net and not letting the ball go in the back of your net. It really is as simple as that. Like, I just feel like the last few games we haven't been as strong at the back. You know, defensively we looked pretty poor against Newcastle. We looked shambolic against Leverkusen. So I just feel that, like, we need to go out there, look convincing, and just settle the team again before we start, you know, dropping points again and again and again. And because inevitably, like this is literally what happened sort of around this time last year. We were doing okay, and then we just started dropping points, and then we just couldn't buy a win.
Yeah.
So I just think we need to ground ourselves, put out a strong team, get a convincing win, and you know, go again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with all those points, mate. I think it's really important to get the win. I think, again, as you said, like against this Leeds team, I think there is definitely a win there to be had. You know, they're not particularly doing particularly well. As you said, Wagner is looked like he could be on his way out already. You know, they have they're a side that have dropped 8 points from winning positions this season. Do you know what I mean? That's a team that's currently heading one way, you know, and that's down and out. And if Leeds want any hope of staying in, then they've got to change that. But I don't think that's against us, in all honesty.
I found a stat the other day, and I thought it was pretty mad, and I shared it on the Not in My Lifetime show. If you know the games that Liverpool scored sort of last minute winners in to pick up points, if they hadn't have scored those last minute winners, they'd currently be sitting 19th in the Premier League. Like, when you think about the other night, the guy who was doing the commentary on the City game was saying, there's £400 million on that bench is worth £400 million, blah, 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 blah. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, Liverpool spent more than that on 4 players.
Yeah.
So, you know, you want to talk about City having £400 million worth of players sitting on the bench. What about the 500 million plus whatever they had before that were on the pitch and couldn't even pick up a win?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, you can't. But the thing is they wouldn't do that because it's not what they do to Liverpool. So
yeah.
Right. Anyway, I know you got to go. So you piss off.
Yeah, sadly I've got work tomorrow, so I
want to plug your show from under.
Yeah. Well, I think the plan from me and Tone for our next Instagram show is going to be on after the game against Leeds, actually. So if people want to tune in and see the Aussie and Tone show and I see our direct thoughts after that game, please come across and watch that. Martin, I believe you're going to be on the Instagram on Friday with Tone.
Yes, I'm filling in for you tomorrow.
You are indeed.
Straight after the presser.
Yeah.
So yeah, come and join us. Enjoying him. I'm only filling in when Ozzy's not around. So other than that, yeah. Ozzy, amazing show tonight, hosting. You get going and I'll wrap it up.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Just like to say thanks for all the comments. Been brilliant. Luke, Brevo, and obviously with Alan and Rich, brilliant all having you on. And yeah, thanks for the support. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys. So,
you go, mate.
See you later, mate. Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too, mate.
Quick super chat. Amar, sorry, I know this is like, mate. Savio thing is getting a bit much even for me. And that's a lot coming from you because you've been a major hater of him. I know, yeah. If it's getting too much for some of the other haters, it's the petition that did, mate. I've never known us do a petition on getting a player out of the club.
Jesus,
mate. I'm like, Jesus Christ, we didn't do this for Calvin Phillips.
Oh,
we're taking the piss. But anyway, no, the Leeds United one is an intriguing one because they haven't won one game all season away, which was at Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, but that was the same as us, isn't it?
Yeah, well, everyone's giving Wolves a bit of a slapping at the minute. I think at home, and the thing is, I do think, listen, I know everyone's got this worry of, Leverkusen, it's going to start all over. It's not. Pep is not. Pep, they're not going to like this, and I'm not making an excuse. It was shit. I'm trying to avoid going back to Tuesday. But I think the club, Pep, Biana was making a little bit of a point on Tuesday. Not even to the fans. I think they were I think they were making a point to some of the players of your future ain't here much longer. And I think that's a harsh way of doing it, maybe. But I'm with Bevo. Saturday's more of a must win than it was Tuesday. Because we're 7 points behind Arsenal. We have no room. We can lose probably one more, but that has to be later.
Yeah.
That can't be, this. I'm gonna go one step further. The next 3 games in 7 days are all must wins.
Yeah.
Leeds United at home, Fulham away, Sunderland at home, all must wins to have any chance of staying in this league. And you won't get a better opportunity this weekend because Chelsea and Arsenal play each other. So somebody's dropping points.
I also think that it's come at a good time. Like, those are 3 winnable games. It's not like we're playing Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool or whatever. Like, Fulham haven't been great this season. Leeds haven't been great this season.
I'm going to sound disrespectful. If you want to win the league, these are the 3 games you got to win.
Yeah,
these are the type of games you want to win. Right now, Arsenal wouldn't lose these games.
No.
So we can't.
No.
So, yes, I do have standards. I'm just not, like I said, as long as we're challenging. We're not going to have a meltdown if we go to the last 2 weeks and Arsenal are just simply better than us. Now you can do.
No.
But the challenge, I think it's different to last year. I think Pep will not do that again. I think we go back to the same 11 next week. I think O'Reilly is being sat there. I think Nunes comes back. Believe it or not, listen, if I had said to you 5 months ago, Mateus Nunes is sitting on the bench to have a rest because he's needed for the more important game, you'd have laughed at me. You'd have pissed your sides.
Yeah.
That's how important Nunes is becoming to this team right now.
Yeah.
I think they all come back Saturday.
They have to.
I think we go right back to our 11. And listen, we're probably... I'm not even asked about conceding. I'll take 3-1-4. I mean, I predicted 3-1.
3 points.
3
points we need.
No, but I do want to score a few goals. What I want on Saturday is I probably like a couple of more goals from elsewhere to get this Haaland FC tag off our damn back somewhere. Because even playing Mamouche for me is a bit late now because he's pissing off in 2 weeks. Disappearing in the next 2 weeks. So it's like, for me, I know you've said 1-1 draw. That's shambolic then if you get a 1-1 draw. And I think you're hyping Leeds up. Daniel Farker is in a major issue at Leeds right now. There's a lot of Leeds fans want him gone.
Yeah.
Majorly gone now.
Good.
I was watching Just Joe Football, and you think our chat can be toxic at times. Ooh. Jesus.
Yeah.
Their chats are really toxic on Farker at the minute.
Yeah, Leeds fans are happy.
I do think Leeds will go back down.
Yeah.
I don't think they've done enough in the market.
Burnley.
Farker said they didn't do enough in the market. They've won one game in their last 5.
Yeah, you have to beat them. You have to be
We've got to get the win. No excuse. And I don't do the must wins. And I don't normally say this is must win.
Yeah.
And we need a win to put the last 2 games out of our heads.
Yeah.
And then we roll to Tuesday. And we just take it a game at a time. Let's get the 9 points. Let's get it done. Because Leeds are going to be tough. And again, we may not even be able to play transition on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because here's my thing. We can only play transition on a team who come out.
Like Madrid, for example. Come out.
Madrid, we could. We could, funnily enough, it wouldn't surprise me if City fucking went and did something to the Bernabeu now after the week they just had.
4-0 win.
But the simple fact is for me is I think we've got to give Leeds a good slapping. We need the stadium behind us.
Yeah.
On Saturday, we need that stadium rocking. And we need to set a statement out that, no, we're not going away. And we need to get back on this run again that we've just come off. Get back on that run again and go again.
Don't lose for a long time.
The international break did us no favours at all.
No, and that is sickening. That international break came at the worst fucking time for us.
Yeah.
Worst time for us.
It did, because before the international break, Arsenal looked like they were slowly starting to sort of slip up a little bit, getting the draw at Sunderland. We were on fire, and then the international break can come back, and it's almost like roles reversed.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, the international break didn't do Liverpool any something good, but I know. You know what I mean? I mean, Jesus, we talk about ours. They've just got slapped 4-1 by PSV.
What?
They've in the last 3 games that they've played, bearing in mind 2 of the games have been at Anfield. In the last 3 games, they've conceded 10 and scored 1. In the last 3 games, they're on -9.
Yeah.
On goal difference.
There is no excuse, and I don't do the arrogant thing, but you gotta listen. Leeds are going to be stubborn, and they'll probably low block it. So I think we will have to be a bit more possession based. And I know that's not everyone's, but the trouble is with tactics, you can try and play your tactics, but there are 2 teams. As I was told by a coach once, there are 2 teams on a pitch.
Yeah,
and like I said, if we don't want the ball and they don't want the ball just becomes a floating object in the middle of the pitch. Someone's got to take hold of the ball. But what I do want to see is then, if we're going to do possession on Saturday, do it quicker. Let's get in behind and get the tempo going again. Don't do the slow passing. Do the passing, but let's do it quicker. Let's do it with a bit more zip.
Intensity in the game, 100%. Yeah.
Nobody who started on Saturday, on Tuesday night, starts for me.
No.
This weekend.
Nico G.
Apart from Nico G. So, apart from Nico G, there should be 10 changes again. Interesting. Let's see if everyone shits the bed over 10 changes on Saturday. Where's that one?
Changes.
You're gonna get 10 changes again, guys, before you all shit the bed here.
You don't know what?
So I would. Savinio, Bob, all back to the bench.
Yeah.
Rico, Reinders, the lot.
Yeah.
You go back to what we did against Liverpool and play that.
Yeah.
Turkey, you play Cherky and Doku as your wingers. For me, Bernardo, Nico G, Foden, Haaland, and your back four is your back four.
I am one of the biggest admirers of Cherky. I think, Martin, you know that. For me, he can't play as a winger. Right, Tarek?
I don't mean he was I mean more sort of...
I just don't think he's good enough on the wing. I think you need to play him centrally at all times.
What's a bit different? A bit different in what way? I was taking the piss when I said 10 chain. God, you don't get my sarcasm yet, do you? You don't get it.
Yeah, for me, I'm one of Cherky's biggest admirers, but he's played 2 games on the right wing now, and he's been pretty poor in both of them, to be honest with you. For me, he's an exceptional player, but he does well in tight spaces. So
would you play on the wing then?
I will put Foden on the wing, because effectively what you're saying is he's doing. Foden would be doing exactly what we want from Cherky. So the inverting and the coming in, but Cherky starts centrally, so he doesn't have to do the whole coming in. I think dribbling wise, Foden's a better dribbler than Cherky is. Coming from the wing anyway. Foden's also better at tracking back than Cherky is. So for me, I would put Cherky in the 10 and Foden on the wing, and then effectively what you've said about Cherky, Cherky will start on the right wing, but he'll invert and he'll come inside. That's what we could get Phil to do. Phil's done that role for years and knows it well. and does quite well on the wing. To be honest, he's had games where he doesn't do well on the wing, but
for me, I mean, Benny said he won't play. I think he will play all the big guns. So must-win game.
Yeah, and I think he'll want to go out and get a convincing win as well. I don't think he'll want to put out a team and maybe go and get like a 1 or 2-0. I think to settle everyone in the dressing room, I think he'll want to go out there and absolutely spam them. I'm expecting, at least 4, to be honest with you, because I think put our strongest 11 out there. Why couldn't we do that?
No, I mean, you put it. I mean, we're saying on the wing. The trouble is, Nunes will be on the wing from right wing back with the right wing back. Dexter, I wouldn't play him as an out-and-out winger because you need him as that right wing back. So that's why I would have him in.
I just feel like from what I've seen from Turkey, his best position is starting in the 10, not coming off the wing into a 10.
Yeah.
Well, little thing on Shirka, shared it last night in the space. He was told to lose a bit of timber when he first.
He has, hasn't he? Over the last international.
He was told he needed to get his fitness up and lose a little bit of. Wasn't quite the Calvin Phillips get off the kebabs, you fat twat. That Guardiola was very direct with Calvin, but he was, come on, get your fitness up a bit, mate. It was lose a few pounds.
Yes, definitely.
So Pep does learn. He's not quite as, fat twat. Get on a diet. Get a slim fast. Not quite the Calvin Phillips situation.
Oh, we've resulted in using Calvin Phillips now for painting
cones out.
Well, he's entertaining fans now with painting videos. He's turned into what's that guy called? Bob Stafford or something.
He's got a nice smile though.
Bob Ross.
By the way, can I just confirm something? Who was the guy who said Calvin Phillips was on $250,000 a week? Please, he's on 140 to 150. He's not on 250 a week. That is everywhere. He's not on 250 a week. I don't know where that's come from.
That is still pretty high, isn't it, for someone that doesn't
play? A reserve player, mate. At this point,
at the time when he come in, it was probably around about the right way, but not now. But the trouble is, you were looking at it in hindsight. Cole Palmer at 45 to 50 million quid looks cheap now, but I'll go back and get another 50 off Chelsea. But
I thought
you got to look at it at the time.
Really good deal for someone that's never played
football.
I
think Calvin probably was that kind of value at the time.
He was at the
He's
time,
just coming to City and shit the bed. To be blunt, people forget he was the English player of the year at the time, and Liverpool, United, all the big boys were having a look at Calvin. I remember doing a Leeds show when I was on.
Never a good sign if United are looking at a player, though, mate.
Like, no, if United are looking at a player, you back off. I was on Man CB, and I went on Leeds United. What was it called? It was when Just Joe was on that channel before he started his own, or just after it. And they thought 45 million for Calvin Phillips was a steal. They thought they'd been robbed. Now we feel like we robbed. Now we feel like, Jesus, we want a bit back.
Receipt, please.
So people forget Calvin Phillips was 3-4 years ago now. It's a long time ago.
Crazy, man. Yeah.
He's had a loan spell since it was treble year we bought him, wasn't it?
West Ham and Ipswich, isn't it?
Yeah, he's been out on 2 loans.
Yeah, West Ham and Ipswich.
So, and he'll probably go on the 3rd loan as well, in John. We got Calvin from the Chipping. So no, for me, I actually, he's not on 250, mate. He's on 140, 150. No, City Extra don't say that. City Extra are an aggregator of the news. They don't put the news out. No. People get mixed up on this. They're an aggregator of the news. They don't put the news out.
They're not our news people, mate.
Yeah, if you look underneath, there is a they name the source.
Yeah,
that makes them. They're sharing. Yeah, they're what you call an aggregator within the business. They don't share.
Big up Freddie as well, by the way.
Big up Freddie.
And Freddie will tell that, Bevel, but they don't share the news. They They don't
They
say the news; they share it.
I spoke to Freddie the other day on email, and
Can you speak to everyone here? This celebrity guy, you know?
no. I'm trying to push. I'm trying to push this Saturday thing, mate. I've got to
Mate,
reach out.
what's going on? Something going on
on
Saturday?
Oh, I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'm going for a curry on Saturday night. If
this guy's been everywhere, haven't bloody hell.
Not going in the fucking stadium, though, are you? Won't go in the stadium, the cheap bastard.
Hey, I've got to get back to take care of dad duties, mate.
JP.
Missing 9 months.
Who's JP? JP. Don't know who JP is. Sorry. Right, we're going, Bevo. Seeing as you're here.
Yeah. So Saturday, really big thing coming up. Came up with an idea a while ago to get donations for cuddly toys, and to give to children at Christmas that don't get anything. Over like the research that I've done, and it shocked me, to be fair. Between 1 and 2 million children in the UK at Christmas time don't get anything to open. So wanted to try and do something about it to change that, and wanted to sort of maybe start a bit of a movement where other clubs and fans from other clubs take inspiration from it and try and do the same thing. You know, I want to try and get this as big as I possibly can. We're also a bit of sort of new news that Martin doesn't even know yet, or Luke doesn't even know yet, because it's something that I've been on the phone to today.
Yeah, I've got George Warehouse sign autographs.
But it's also depending on the amount that obviously we get, because obviously I'm expecting sort of big numbers. We're also going to be donating to some hospitals as well, for children who are sick over Christmas to get a present as well. So yeah, really excited about this. Please remember, if you are coming to the stadium and you do want to donate, it has to be a new cuddly toy. No one will accept second-hand ones, unfortunately. I know your heart will be in the right place, and I know that you'll want to donate what you can. But I wouldn't want to have to say I'm sorry, I'm not able to take it. And you know, when you've kindly tried to donate something to us. But yeah, really excited, a bit nervous, looking forward to seeing everyone there. And even if you can't donate, but you know you want to come over and say hi, you know, feel free, come over. We'll be by the Nexham Bridge, next to the MCFC Food Bank donation point. So if you are coming and you want to donate, that's where we'll be. If you come in, if you go into the game and you can't afford to donate, or you know, whatever, still feel free to come over and say hi.
What time are you beginning?
We'll be there for about 12:30, and we'll be there right the way up until just after kick-off, so 3:10.
Yeah. Bevo's charging £10 an autograph, £20 a photo.
More than that. Oh, more than that. Come on.
Just so you know before you go in. Also, these are predictions for the matchday 13. DC, hope she's not still in the chat because she'll scream at me now for not changing the background. Because I know everyone's left there. Apart from one, and they may be gone. I've gone for 3-1. Pat's gone for 4-1. Ozzy's gone 4-1. Rich has gone 3-1. And Alan, the old misery guts, has gone for a tight 1-0. Okay, now. So there you go. People are asking this as well. What about 115? No update. Other than what Stefan said the other day, it is imminent. It can drop any time.
I mean, it's been like that for 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's literally imminent. The trouble is, it can drop tomorrow. It could drop any time at booking months now. We are in the hands with everyone else. Martin, has anyone asked for your photo? Yes.
It'll come in 2001.
No, I don't charge. No, I don't charge. I'm joking. No, I charge.
40 quid for
I mean, if you want to give us 40 quid for a picture, I'll happily oblige. It'll go towards the ticker. So.
Look at it. Andrew, you thinking about what you playing at, Martin? Ireland's just started the YouTube. He's on 1 million. Pull your finger out. My son said that. He went, "You lazy bastard. Ireland's got more than you." Cheeky twat. But yeah. No. Where is it again? Bottom of the Nexham Bridge.
Nexham Bridge.
Because some don't know where MCFC Food Bank is. So basically, go all the way around the stadium. I would advise go the other way towards Asda. Don't go around the other side.
On a match day, from Asda,
on a match day, it will take you 25 frigging minutes because you can't cut around because of the away stand and it's Leeds. Yeah, I would go the complete other way because Leeds United is going to be even more stringent. They're going to have police everywhere.
Nexham Bridge is the one that runs from the Etihad over to the training facility.
Yeah, Etihad campus.
My advice would be go around the other way. If you go around past where the statue is and where the club shop is, you're going to have to go all the way around onto Ashton Road and come all the way, and it'll because they won't let you walk past the Leeds United area. But then you can always go City Chippy if you want. I don't know. Get yourself chips and grab. I'll be there as well. So I've got loads of teddies to give to Bebo.
Thank you very much.
I've not chosen any of them. The other half has. It's a good job saying this earlier.
I'm sure she's done a great job.
When's my next space? I don't know.
Probably about half an hour, knowing Martin.
No, I'm still debating them because I had a lot of. I'll be honest with you. The reason, was my dad, and I also needed a break off things because I got a lot of shit after Newcastle, and I got a load of shit on Tuesday, and I didn't even record out. For some reason, City get beaten, everyone attacks me, and it's like. So I did my thing with Tony. We were like, no, it was shit. Pep was shit. It was just, but people don't want to listen. So hey ho. So I got a whole new bunch of threats and everything else chucked at me. My family are retards, etc. I got that again after a defeat. So
people seriously get
it is what it is. So listen, I don't give a shit. And big up Jay. Jay knows. There is one thing I'm going to say. I need to speak to the lads, but I'm going to open something up to the members of this channel and people that we are very close to. I'm going to look at maybe I need to because it's going to have to be a thing of doing a WhatsApp group with the community.
Okay.
You never reply.
Talk what? Well, we're going to have that anyway, but I have that many groups, but actually, it's Mancunian way one.
Don't do it, chat. He never replies to me.
That's because you're a boring bastard. Anyway.
He just leaves me on outside the stadium.
Honestly, there's about 15 people unread on here. I'm
one of them.
like, everyone's just listen, I apologize. I'm not an ignorant sod. I know.
I will respond. Turn up on Saturday. You'll probably get the missus to mail me the teddies.
I had Luke. You remember Luke, don't you? Luke messaged me the other day. Went, "How doing it? Yeah." And I didn't respond to him for about 4 months. 4 months, sorry, 4 days.
I mean,
it does feel like 4 months for some. It was 4 days. He went, "Oh, you remembered me then?" I went, "I completely forgot your message." If I don't, and I'm the same with the emails. There's someone who's been really upset at me. I apologize if I've ignored emails. I'm the only one who does it. So I'm trying to balance everything at the minute, and I'm not doing a very good job. I apologize for it. I am going to come back to people and the emails and everything. I do apologize. I know I'm not the best responder. That much going on in my sodding life, I literally switch off and forget. Because literally, and these two will tell you, a lot of you, I'm still freaking going at 5 a.m. in the morning. I don't know where I'm going now at this point. So it's fun and games. So yes, we'll be there Saturday. Come and say hello. Listen, no one charges anything. And listen, if I ever look sheepish, if I ask you for a photo, because I am sheepish, because I'm not about that life. This is a community and a family. And I'm not being biased there. No, to me, you are the best chat in this whole community. I know there's other great chats. I'm biased. I know. I get it. But you're the best chat because we just want to talk football. There are other people who want to go and have a rant and a rave at and everything else. It's why I like not in my lifetime. It's just nice, sensible chat. No one's calling each other a dickhead. Well, we do it privately. But, you know what I mean? It's just, it's not about that. We're here just talks it. And that's what it should be about. Win, lose, or draw. Yeah. And trust me, people who think I'm not asked about losing, fucking hell, you've not seen me when we lose.
No, I've seen
I was like coming after 0-0 at Southampton, but I was like, was I happy clapping out the stadium? Yeah. You know what I mean? 7-hour drive home, and you think I'm going, yeah, we're 2-0 with Southampton. Pep's great. Bollocks.
You and Tom are happy, definitely, yeah.
You know what I mean? I gave the fucking team boss the middle finger on the way home. Anyway, it's just the way of melting down. Why I don't do shorts after games, because you don't want to see them if we're losing. But anyway, no, big up to these lads. Bevo, I know you've joined late. Luke, you've been with us full 3 hours. Appreciate everyone. Yeah, please support Bevo and Luke and all the lads over in Not My Lifetime. They're trying to build a channel, get it to 2K, and they well deserve it. So if you're not subscribed on air, get over there and hit that subscribe button to these guys as well. Show them a lot of love. We'll be back. There will be a Leeds reaction. I don't know if it'll be Saturday or Sunday. It depends. The week after, I'm at Fulham Tuesday, so we'll do some. So there'll be Blues Down Under Tuesday with the preview. Stateside will be the post match because I'm coming back from Fulham. Thursday there's a night chat, and then we'll see. Don't be up tomorrow on Instagram. Me and Tone are going to be doing the pre-match presser from Pep. And trust me, the question: are you going to make all these changes? Will come up, and Pep will go wait and see. Pep will troll you all tomorrow. I warn you. Pep is going to tell everyone, I might make 11. He'll come out with them either going to make 11 changes or I'm going to make 10 and wind you all up. And you'll all have, what does he mean?
He's
taking the piss.
Masterful troll.
Jay, thank you for that, mate. Appreciate that. We'll get some aside. Also, in a few days, we'll do the end of the month giveaway as well. So big up to all. So, yeah, big up to everyone. Smash those likes. Nearly 500 of you here in the building. Smash those likes. Thank you all. If you're watching on Twitter, please come over and say thank you as well. And we'll see you all next time. Where City, hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow on Instagram. But as always, up the Blues. Take care.